Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again and again and again on Crime and Sports. We are excited to be here today. As always, we have a story of someone you've probably never heard of.
Terrific.
Which those are a lot of times the best stories, and this is a crazy story. It's one of those stories, if you saw it in a movie, you'd go, holy shit, that was a crazy movie. What a wild story. Wow, that guy...
How did they create such an amazing plot line?
Or like a documentary, you'd be like, whoa, that was heavy. That whole thing was wild. And then, you know, but on this show, people would be like, well, I don't know. I never heard of him. When are you doing, you know, Mike Tyson? So anyway, that's all right, though. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And if you haven't done it yet, get on Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, because it helps out a lot. So if you'd like to help out the show, it's a free way to do it. Head over also to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your merchandise needs. And, of course, your tickets to the virtual live show. It's a Small Town Murder virtual live show, but Small Town Murder, it's an actual, real live show, just like we do in a theater. We'll be sitting, we have the table and mics and the whole deal. It'll sound great. It'll look great. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be available. It's January 29th, 2021. It'll be available for 3 days after that as well. Right. So shutupandgivememurder.com right now to get your tickets. Also, if you want extra stuff, extra content, you can get that, of course, and you'll be a producer. First of all, Jimmy will mispronounce your name,
for sure,
saying you're a producer, but that's always fun. And on top of that, you'll get lots of bonus stuff if you go to patreon.com/crimeandsports. Bonus stuff. Last week we did for Crime and Sports, a couple days ago, we released a new episode of personal ads, which obviously are dynamite. And some of the sales in that one are phenomenal.
Terrific.
There's a Chinese restaurant ad that is just, it's worth it right there. It's hilarious. So check all of that out. And Small Town Murder, you'll get access to all that stuff too. We did Christmas Day murders throughout time that were just hilarious and wild, and
so good.
You know, from 1895. So a lot of fun. Patreon.com/crimeandsports for all of that right now. And if you just want to be a producer and have Jimmy mispronounce your name, you can do that over at PayPal as well, using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Right.
That said, let's do this. All right. Let's get into this with a guy you've probably never heard of.
Yeah.
Anthony Grundy.
No.
Exactly.
Oh.
No, never heard of him.
Boxer.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Not even.
He played cricket.
Basketball.
Oh,
wow.
Grundy in the NBA?
Yeah, Anthony Grundy.
Okay.
Grundy sounds like a euphemism for taint, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like if
there's a grundle, right?
Yeah, I guess that's probably what I'm thinking of. But it sounds like if like you had 2 little kids and one was like, Bobby kicked me in the taint, you'd be like, stop, don't say taint. Tell him Bobby kicked you in the grundle, you know, or in the Grundy in this particular.
A Grundy sounds like something that it's a sex act, like something filthy, something with your mouth.
Or it sounds like it's a, like, you know.
She gave me a Grundy.
Like, oh, man, that's Grundy.
Yeah.
You know, like.
A surfer
dirty,
term of something, right?
Yeah, so like dirty, but in a,
I hit the pipeline. It was Grundy, bro.
Yeah, it was Grundy. Or like a Southern rapper. Yeah. You could be like that, too. Like, that shit was Grundy. You know, that would make sense, too, you know? That, it could be go either way. Surfer.
It's a good one. It's a good
hippie,
word.
You could go Southern rapper. Either one. So, Anthony Montrace Grundy.
Montrace is the middle name.
Montrace. Montrace. Yes, I like that. Anthony Montrace. I should have went by Montrace.
Montrace sounds like the last name.
Yeah, but it could have been a cool first name.
Yeah.
Montrace Grundy sounds cool.
Grundy sounds like the nickname.
Yeah, Grundy ruins everything. Montrace sounds awesome, and then Grundy doesn't, so it just ruins it all. He's born April 15th, 1979. So he's born down in Louisville, Kentucky.
How did I miss this guy?
Well, because you don't worry.
Okay.
This isn't on you.
Okay.
Well, everyone's like, who? That's what I mean. His
79
NBA,
and he made it to the NBA, and I missed him.
you would have missed him unless you were watching every Atlanta Hawks game.
Oh.
Like everyone really closely.
I don't know, TNT and TBS really love them.
Really, really getting into regular season Hawks basketball. That's what you would have had to be doing, like really concentrating on it.
In the time when they stunk.
In the mid 2000s, you'd have to be like, man, let's watch that Hawks game in March. Hawks are playing Washington tonight. Oh, awesome.
Dominique retired by then? Almost,
Shit,
right?
yeah.
Did he?
Christ, he would have been playing 20 years by then.
Did he? When did he retire?
We're talking like 2006. Is
He's long gone.
He's way gone. No,
I was thinking 2000.
You wouldn't even know anybody on the Hawks. I'll give you the roster later.
Can't wait.
You won't know who the hell it is. So April 15th, 79 in Louisville. He never knew his father at all.
Okay.
Comes from a very shit area in Louisville as well.
Yeah.
He does not have a good base of operations, we'll say, to have an upbringing here. He has a rough start to life.
Super lucky to make it.
Super lucky to make it. Very lucky to have talent, obviously, and to work at it and to exploit it, and that's what you should be doing. Whatever you have, exploit it, because. You know, the world is hard.
Yeah, it really is.
And if you have anything, you need to exploit it for every goddamn hair it's worth.
Yeah.
So good for him. So he never knew his father. He's raised by his grandmother. Mm-hmm. He knows his mother, though. As later on, he'll still be in contact with his mother. Okay. So he knows his mother. His mother's not gone. His father's gone, but his mother's not gone. But I guess his grandmother is his main kind of, home base there. He grows up in the Russell neighborhoods in Beecher Terrace public housing projects in Louisville.
That doesn't sound good at all.
It sounds bad.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound great, and it was torn down in 2016.
So it was awful.
So if you lived in a project that they tore down, that's a bad project. That was a bad. That's one. That's Queensbridge.
They didn't even renovate it.
No,
they just raised it.
Yeah, remember 223 on The Wire? That's what we're talking about. They just got rid of it. Just destroyed it. Remember that? Yeah. So that's what I mean.
There's some Section 8 over by the airport.
Beginning of season 3.
They've renovated the whole thing. They put so much money into it. And it's because it's a decent one.
Okay, well, yeah.
It doesn't look like a decent one.
No, I think it's different out here, too, because everything is a little bit newer, so it's got a chance.
A little bit newer, and there's not like... It's the generation in and out of time that different people live in things differently and beat the shit out of things differently.
Yeah.
So
over
back
time,
there, I imagine
a
high-rise that's all Section 8 is beat to fuck.
Well, yeah, like they tried to get rid of some of these projects because they couldn't do anything with them, basically, and they were so like out of date and old, and it would be so much more expensive to fix them than it would to be a new building. And some of them too are on. Some of them, they were built kind of in where nothing was when they built them in the 50s and the 60s, things like that.
Society built around it.
And now they want that real estate. That's what happened in New York in a lot of areas, like especially in Queens, and they started knocking shit down, and it was like, oh, wow, because that they weren't building new projects. They were building condos now in there, so displacing it's a weird thing that goes on. So they did that. Apparently there's a couple people we'll talk about through his life in a second here. We'll talk about he's had he goes through, he plays AAU basketball, and basketball's really what he focuses on, and everybody says this is his way. He knew this was his way out from the beginning, and he said, I am going 100% full speed at this, as from a kid.
Yeah.
Like, there was no doubt. He was like, I see what the paths are, and that's the path out, and that's what I'm doing.
Also, he's around our age, and that generation of kids grew up. Basketball is a big fucking deal to us.
You had Michael Jordan. I mean, there was a lot. Basketball, it's all we did.
It was such a big deal. I can't believe how little it matters to my kid.
Right? I know. When I was a kid, we used to, and even playing ball, like we used to play full court at the park, like every day.
For hours.
In the summer, it didn't even matter. Back east,
we played shirts and skins, for fuck's sake.
We used to shovel the courts, man. Literally shovel the goddamn courts off and play in the fucking, ice.
Yeah.
With parkas on.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And after you play for 20 minutes, it's 25 degrees, you could be in a t-shirt.
Sure.
After a while, you start getting a good sweat going. Then halfway through the drive home, you're freezing.
You realize you fucked up.
You're like, oh God, my body's all messed up now.
I miss it. I miss that a lot.
So do I. So he does well in basketball. He's always looking for mentors, and we see this constantly with kids like this in crime and sports. Kids that don't have fathers.
You need to look up to somebody.
You need to look up to somebody, and they're looking for, and a lot, even if they have strong mothers and things like that, boys look for a male role model, whether it's, you call it what you want, but it's just what they do.
It's also a form of protection where you feel safe. Granted, with your mom, you feel safe because she'll take care of you when you're sick, but sometimes you want that intimidation factor of a big guy around you.
That too.
It makes you feel safer.
I don't know about intimidation factor. My grandmother's the most intimidating person I've ever been around. She's 4'11", and
I'm just seeing my
she
mom
would
and
whoop
my
your
grandma.
ass way quicker than any man in my family, and with more force. So I grew up in a different thing. I think I don't know.
My mom and my grandma would go down. They would be on the pavement, and I would be stolen or worse.
Oh God, no! My grandmother would take a knife out. Remember? She threatens people's balls.
My grandpa,
I will cut your balls off. She sliced a pedophile's chin open, for fuck's sake. Right. She's not messing around.
My grandfather carries pistols, and not even in holsters, just like in a rag underneath the seat.
In a rag is great. I like that. Just
that's how he carries
wrapped up in a rag, like he's going to go pull a train heist or something. Put the rag around my face and get on the train and go a robbing.
Well, the rag works as a holster as well as a face concealer.
This is beautiful. Oh, baby, you need a rag. So that's what you got to do.
Just tucked under the seat like that.
That's the best. Grandma just carries her knife under the guise of for my apples. For your apples. Yeah. Okay, sure. You take it out awful.
Some tough apples.
Yeah, I've heard you take it out more on people than apples. So that's pretty funny.
So, what kind of galas are you eating, Grandma?
Yeah, really dangerous ones.
You get some iron skin
They're
apples.
rough. You got to cut them.
That thing's not ripe yet, Grandma.
Yeah, razor sharp, though. Razor sharp knife in her purse. She'll cut your ass. So, yeah, he does well. He's so good at basketball that people around him try to help him, too. Yeah. He's got a lot of people trying to help him, which is good because especially if you come from a place where you don't have a lot of help at home, you need people to try to help you, and that's great. But at the same time, that also has a tendency with certain people to foster the wrong idea with them that basically they can do anything they want.
Sure.
And people will get them out of it, which is some people it doesn't happen to, and some people it does happen to. That's very individual, person to person basis.
Right. Case by case.
It's so case by case how that goes. Some people are like, holy shit, this is awesome that people are trying to help me. I'm going to make the most of this.
Yeah.
And they do. And some people are like, oh, sweet. That means probably I could fuck up now.
Yeah.
And these people will help me get out of this. So, some people recognize the circumstances that they have.
Just depends on the
silver-haired, middle-aged white men surrounding them.
Exactly. It depends on the amount of shit you're willing to leave on the table for other people to clean up. Exactly.
A guy's brother, who was one of his best friends, said, quote, "He had a tough childhood. You have to do what you can do to survive. So to achieve the things he did is so hard to do." That's how they looked at him, though, as a guy who got out.
Yeah.
Because he did. He got out. He got to go to a major college, as we'll talk about. Mm-hmm. I mean, he did what a lot of people couldn't do. This is a friend of his that they met playing basketball in elementary school. So an old time friend here. Here's a guy named Tim Kolovos. Now we'll talk about him. He's a coach of his later on. He says, quote, that Grundy, quote, didn't really have a normal childhood just because of the area he grew up in and the struggles and the temptations that were out there. Basketball wasn't a part of Anthony's life. It was his life. It was really the only place he could go to find solace and peace. Nobody's perfect, and Anthony certainly has some struggles, as we all do, but it seems like when he was on the court, all was well in the world. Mm-hmm. That's a perfect way to describe this guy. On the court, the guy is just...
He keeps his mind off his problems, too.
It's a safe place. Yeah. It's a place where he can go where people are nice to him.
Yeah.
Where, there's no... It's like it's a home.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of kids do that with sports, and
everybody that he knows encourages them to do it because it keeps him out of wherever he shouldn't be.
And it's what you're excelling at.
Yeah.
I mean, anything you're excelling at. If you have a kid who's really good at math, you're going to go, shit, do more math.
Right.
I don't know.
Balance my checkbook.
Yeah,
I'm lazy.
Kid's great at basketball. You're like, well, play more basketball. Yeah, go do it. Play more. Support him however you can. That's what you do with kids. So he's in high school. He goes to Louisville Central. Mm-hmm. That's where he ends up going to high school, which is public high school.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a rough high school too, from what I understand. It's not in the best area. It's an inner city high school, and also he went to high school in the 90s, which, as we know, school is like a. It's like I get it that not every school is like this, but school is like way like happier and safer and like.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the school shootings.
Apart from the shootings, yeah.
They're really nice schools that get shot up.
That's what I mean. And also, too, at the same time, in between those shootings, everybody's way more nice to. And I get the kids are shitty to each other. Don't get me wrong, but nothing like.
Oh boy.
Back in the day, where you were allowed to there was no such thing as bullying. That didn't exist.
Yeah.
If you went to a principal and said there's a kid bullying you, they'd go, did they beat you up?
Right.
And you'd say no, and they go, okay, well, what the fuck do you want from me?
Right.
Fucking fight back.
Right.
That's what they'd say.
Yeah.
Say something back. I don't know. Fuck out of my office. Bullying. Fuck out of here.
I got to worry about keeping the school open.
That's called high school.
Right.
Take a fucking hike, asshole. Have you ever watched any show? Yeah. Have you ever watched a TV show about high school?
Right.
Guess what the worst part is? Everybody's picking on you all the time, and it sucks.
There's no HR department.
No, there is none. But now there is.
Yeah.
Now somebody could post something on, but now they have social media too. It's a lot harder to be a kid in that way.
Yeah.
When we got home from school, that was it. You were home from school. Like, whew, got through that for the day.
Right.
Even if people were fucking with you, it was like, all right, whew, that was, it's over now. I have my Nintendo.
I guess 6-8 hours, I don't have to deal with that.
There's some mac and cheese in the cabinet, the blue box. I'll make that. Everything will be fine. Whereas, nowadays they get home, it's like, oh, Christ, now it could be worse.
Right.
Now
they're making fun of me worse.
Now they have time to fuck with you. At least in class, maybe you could.
And now the phone my parents bought me is chiming with these kids being mean to me outside of this.
It's that. So it would be more difficult. But anyway, he's doing very well at Louisville. Yeah. Like they're proud of him. He's doing fantastic. He's playing basketball well. By his junior year, they are looking at him as like, he's the guy on the team that's going to get a scholarship to a big college. And, he's the star guy that everybody's behind. And like, oh, Anthony Grundy's going to do amazing. And then he transfers in his junior year.
To a better school?
Well, yes, but not by his choice. You know what? Grace. We'll say Grace.
In high school.
Junior in high school. We're going to say halfway through junior year in high school is Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's from here on out, it's just trouble. He's just the Tasmanian devil cloud is always around him of just shit swirling.
Yeah.
It's bad stuff. So he's doing well. Like I said, junior in high school. And then in April of 1996, he has a bit of a problem.
Oh, boy.
And it's a big issue,
yeah.
Especially in the 90s. One thing in the 90s that I don't know if people realize now because it's changed somewhat.
Sure.
In the 90s, for a long time, people looked at like juvenile delinquents, and they looked at them as like juvenile delinquents and how do we fix kids and like all that type of shit. For like 30 years, the country was obsessed with juvenile delinquency. How do we fix them? What can we do for school? And what can we, how can we change home? Like, can we have programs? And then in the 90s, they just said, fuck it. When they're 12, you put them in adult prison and you treat them like fucking adults when they're 9. That's how you do it.
Because they're animals.
And
them what we do to animals.
That's it all changed in the 90s to where there was no.
Do you think they finally were like,
anymore.
Obviously we can't do it. It's been 3 generations and they're still the same shit.
Yeah, well, they still never tried to actually fucking fix anything either. There's still Anthony Grundy walking around with nothing else to do but basketball. You know what I'm saying? So really, if you don't fix anything, you really can't expect anything to change. But still, it was like in the 90s, it was like, that's how we'll change it.
Yeah.
We'll scare the shit out of the kids. no matter how poor they are or fucked up their home lives are, they won't do illegal things if they're scared of jail. Like, no, do you know what their home lives are? Do you know what their neighborhoods are like? Worse than jail sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's
Montel Williams is not fixing this problem.
That's what I mean. Boot camp isn't going to help. No. You can't put every kid in boot camp.
Raphael, what is her name? The Raphael lady.
The hell are you talking about?
Sarah Jessica? No,
Sarah Jesse Raphael.
Is it Sarah Jesse?
Was it Jesse? Now you put Jesse.
Now it's fucked up.
With the Jesse big stupid Raphael. Red glasses.
Yeah, it's Jesse Raphael.
Yeah, Mrs. Garrett with red glasses.
Is it Sarah Jesse Raphael?
I think it is.
It might be.
I think it is.
She did the same shit though. She'd bring kids on it and have people scream at them.
Talk show
Donahue
did it. Ricky
did it.
Lake and Jenny Jones. They all had kids on. Shitty kids. Jerry Springer telling their goddamn parents, "I'm not doing what you told me to do."
Richard Bay was the best one.
Well,
of all of them. I wish he went forever. He was amazing.
He was just a dick.
He didn't give a fuck.
No. He was just a dick to people.
Raphael would. It's Sarah Jesse. God damn it!
It's Sarah. But then you're thinking because it fucks you up because it's Sarah Jessica Parker.
Right.
Yeah.
She ruined everything.
Yeah. Sally Jesse Raphael. The name of the show is Sally.
Yes.
The name of the show is Sally.
You're right.
Sally Jesse Raphael.
Don't tweet us.
Now it sounds fine, right?
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Sally Jesse.
Fixed.
Yeah. Right.
All fixed.
But Richard Bay would scream at him.
Oh yeah.
And then he had a dude in a booth with sound effects.
But the point is.
Yeah.
For what? Like that didn't help either.
Right.
And then they went to now where it's a different thing where it's like
maybe the government was just like, I don't know, everybody seems to think it's funny when these kids are fuck ups.
Yeah. I don't know what it was.
So let's just let it be funny.
It was like everybody, like Bart Simpson or something. Like that's the attitude in the it was so weird though. In the 90s, the most dangerous thing you could be was a teenager. Like they were just like, we'll put you in prison.
Yeah.
Everybody for anything. Like they just wanted to do that. So it was strange.
They thought we were all
strange
Marilyn
times.
Manson, is what it was.
Yeah, it was true. In the 60s and the 50s, adults were scared of kids, but in the 90s, they were really scared of
I think adults didn't understand grunge. I don't think they understood what we were going through.
I don't think they understood hip-hop. Yeah. I don't think, because I was never a grunge person at all, really. But
like, just didn't get the
faction
was the same generation, but I don't think they understood any of us.
No, but I think it was the same thing in the 60s. They didn't understand those kids. In the 50s, they didn't understand those kids. Nobody ever understands kids. That's what it is. You don't get what the hell kids are doing because it's their thing.
Yeah.
And whatever kids are doing, it's their thing. And that's why we always say the kids are all right, because the kids are fucking fine. They'll figure it out.
We were all right.
See, we were people that they would look at and go,
what the fuck?
We should put them away. They're never going to grow up and be anything. And here we are.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Two problems. One from the East Coast, one from the West Coast. We're fine.
And here we are. So he has an issue in April of 1996. And there's a hearing later on about it and everything. And a school investigator and another witness end up disputing this chain of events, which we'll talk about in a second here. It was January 24th, 1996, the incident occurred. Mm-hmm. Basketball practice that day was interrupted when a teammate of Anthony's was chased into the gym by what this newspaper, the Louisville, what is it, the Courier?
The Democrat?
No,
that's in Texas.
Courier Journal.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Courier Journal.
They say, this is an odd way to put it, he was chased in, a friend of Anthony's was chased into the gym, quote, by some older friends, of a middle school student whom the teammate had fought the previous day.
Okay.
So apparently this high school kid who's a teammate of Anthony's beat up a middle school kid the other day.
Had a rumble.
Which seems, what are you doing beating up middle school kids, number one? But we'll take that out of what it is.
Yeah.
So now this middle school kid has some older friends who came to fuck this kid up for beating up their friend.
That's horrifying.
Which sounds like what happens in high school.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Right.
You know, if you beat up one kid, well, then we're going to come and try to beat you up. And
a bunch.
A bunch.
That's not good.
Not good. So they get, apparently this happens in the middle of the gym, though. They chase this kid into the gym, and a rumble erupts in the middle of basketball practice.
Awesome.
Which is pretty weird.
Yeah.
Some kids are, it's January, so you got some kids in parkas, and there's other kids in shorts and tank tops.
Yeah.
And they're fighting, which is a strange visual. You tell who's on your team, at least.
Yeah. You all have uniforms.
That's good.
Yeah.
You can pass off. Oh, shit, you can do that. That's all.
I would have been the kid in the stands going, oh, this is going to be great.
Oh, this is going to be amazing.
Watch this.
Watch this. What happens here? Oh, man. So I was an idiot. I would have fought whoever. We're fighting? Yeah. That would have been my thing. Who's fighting? Let's go. Who are we fighting?
I'd have been in the stands heckling, and then somebody would have kicked my ass. Somebody would have climbed the bleachers.
Go get him. Shit.
Yeah. Drag that loudmouth down
Damn
here.
it. So basketball coach Roger Clay would later testify that now he's the basketball coach of the program, by the way. So you have to... You'll get the whole thing here. Anyway, basketball coach Roger Clay, he testified that Anthony and others, quote, tried to pull the kids off of one of the players. And I know the kids were pointing fingers about who they were going to get later.
Oh, boy.
So they pulled it apart and they were like, oh, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to get you. And, you know, what kids do.
Made some threats.
Making threats.
Yeah.
So Anthony, later on in a written statement presented at a hearing, said that one of them met him later that night at a friend's house and flashed a gun at him. That's his thing. And quote, told me they were going to come get me at Central High School. So that's what he claims, is that he went to a friend's house and one of these kids showed up and flashed a gun at him and said he was going to get him.
Yeah.
Then come shoot him at school. So Anthony then says that he stopped at the home of one of his cousins who said that he knew the people that threatened Anthony and that Anthony shouldn't mess with them. Yeah. They were badasses and, you know, shouldn't fuck with them. So Anthony said his cousin gave him a gun and told him to take it with him for protection. Mm-hmm. Take this with you. So the next day, Anthony said he took the gun to school with him, and somebody saw the gun and reported it to one of the teachers, you know, because you're not allowed to have guns in school. It's a pretty standard rule.
Yeah.
That's one that's across the board.
Yeah, but prior to 99, it happened.
Yeah, but no, a gun was a big fucking deal. If someone had a gun in school,
but I remember it happening.
It happened, but it was a big deal.
Yeah,
but they never thought back then if you brought a gun to school, it was to shoot a particular person that you didn't like. It wasn't just to indiscriminately start shooting classmates. It was a different mindset.
It was.
They were looking at. They didn't think Anthony, I'm sure, was going to start shooting up his math class.
Right.
They thought that he probably had beef with somebody and was going to shoot him and was involved in some sort of whatever. That's how they looked at it back then. Yep. Whereas now they look, is the kid crazy?
Yeah.
Is he crazy?
What's wrong with him?
Whereas now they're like, back then it was just they're a criminal. That's what's wrong with him. It's probably a drug dealer. Yeah. That's why he's got it. That's what they would say. Probably a drug dealer. Lock him up. Whereas now they're like, maybe he had problems.
No, more than likely part of a cartel.
Probably. By the way, this, by the way, is not political, but and I hate to date shows, but there was that big explosion in Nashville, which was terrible, obviously, that just happened with the RV and everything, and that'll get remembered for a little while. So if you're listening to this a few months from now, you'll remember that. I'd like to know, maybe if a few months from now, has that guy been referred to as a suicide bomber yet?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Not
right?
today.
Not ever.
Today it's all
funny, right?
Man who died in an explosion.
Yeah,
what?
Man who died in an explosion. Sad guy. I hear. Stuff that's what I keep hearing.
It's a man in an RV alone. That alone.
That's called a suicide bombing. Yeah. When you drive something up to a downtown area and explode it.
Terrorist.
Wow, wow. That causes wars and shit when people do that sort of thing. It's but no, he's just a sad guy, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Generally divides folks.
Yeah, moving on. I don't know. Just off the top of my head, I saw that today, and I'm like, I'm looking at this article.
Yeah.
Where is this?
On what planet is that not?
It's just interesting. But, so anyway, Anthony said... Anthony was no stranger to the principal's office. Really? We'll put it that way, but never for anything big.
Okay.
Stupid shit.
Yeah.
He's late for class. He's fucking off. He's an athlete too. So athletes have a tendency to be a little goofy in class sometimes.
They do.
Because they're popular too.
Because they're going to pass.
And he's popular and he's having fun and I get it. Who cares? I don't care about that shit. Is he passing his classes and he playing his sports? Terrific. I don't care if he's
keep going, Grundy.
Shooting spitballs at the chalkboard.
Right.
Whatever you're doing. So the assistant principal said that after confirming Anthony had a gun, she said, quote, I was never afraid that Anthony would use it against me or any of his fellow students. I saw a young man trying to defend himself under fear, real fear, which is... true.
It's the right answer, but
it's the right answer.
It's a horrifying answer today.
It's back then the only time they give that answer is when they're a basketball player who's really good.
Yeah.
An athlete who's really good. Because if that was me, who was like a C fucking minus student
in
some classes, that wouldn't have been, I saw Shooting with Fear, they would have been like, he's a piece of shit.
Right.
He needs to go to jail.
I mean, with an unbuttoned polo shirt, with an undershirt and baggy Tommy Hilfiger jeans. Lock him up. He's a fucking menace to everybody.
He's stealing games from Sears. He's worthless. Lock him up. Lock him up.
Yeah.
Even Officer Michael L. Brown Sr., a Louisville police officer who moonlights at Central as a security officer and a top-notch silver-haired middle-aged white man as well. He said that he didn't doubt Anthony was afraid. He said every time you see him, he's usually got a great big old smile on his face. That day, something scared the smile off his face. Oh, isn't that sad? So, yeah, they said, but he ended up still, there's a zero tolerance policy, and that's the 90s. That was the other thing, was zero. We don't care what the circumstances are. Logic be damned.
Yeah.
Zero tolerance. Why would we listen to circumstances?
There are very few things that need zero tolerance. You know what I mean? Like drunk driving. I could probably go with zero tolerance.
Fucking kids.
Yeah. Kids.
That's it. I don't care how little you put it in.
Drunk driving.
Yeah.
Murder.
That's fine.
Rape.
Yeah.
About from that, it's tough to...
I mean, everything else, there's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of gray in the world besides those things. A lot of gray. Did you make them stop living? Well, then that's murder.
Yeah.
Did you put your dick in him? Well, then that's murder.
That's murder.
That's murder, too. It's all bad.
He murdered their childhood.
He murdered everything, so not good. Anyway, later on March 25th, the school board rejected Anthony's appeal to reduce his punishment and allow him to return to high school, because his appeal, they suspended him for a year.
Wow.
So that pretty much fucked him, and he was up for scholarships and all this. I mean, all these colleges were looking at him. Junior year is when they started honing in on you, so this was very important.
What position does he play?
He's a point guard / shooting guard. Guy. He's a 6'3", 6'3", 185.
But in high school, not right.
But
is he that big then?
He's about that. By his junior year, he's about his full size.
He doesn't need to carry a gun usually. But I guess if somebody's flashing
if someone's
a gun
got a gun,
maybe,
you need to. And who knows what was going on? Like we said, if somebody threatens you with a gun, I mean, I don't know. So I'm not judging him for the gun thing. That's the thing. I'm not judging anybody here.
Just at school.
Yeah, I think it's funny that everyone in the school was very much willing to take his word for it, whereas most kids, I can't imagine they would have.
Not many.
If they weren't, on the right track otherwise. So under the policy, which requires him to spend a year out of this school, he has to go to like an alternative school.
Wow.
The bad kid school.
Yeah, not even a public school.
No, and then he can return, but he can't return to Central until January 97, which will be too late to join the basketball team and try to get a scholarship. So they basically told him, hey, your life's over. Yeah. Enjoy. Have fun.
Remember when you thought this was going to be your saving grace?
Yeah, no, you're going to... No. Remember those old McDonald's commercials where Calvin got a job?
Yeah.
You're Calvin.
Good luck.
Enjoy being Calvin, because... you're shit out of luck, mister.
I don't know. Maybe you can own a franchise someday.
Yeah, at this point,
do that.
You're just a poor kid who we just took the one thing away that was your chance to fucking take a step up in the world here. So, they said that the principal was helping his family explore other options, such as attending a private high school out of state, which may allow him to play basketball. So they're looking for loopholes. Everybody's trying to help him, which is good. But as he finishes out he finished that year out though at the alternative school. He had to go there, and it's not good. He said, quote, "It's been like hell. You get some bad kids there, and you get some kids who just don't care, and then you have some kids like me that don't belong there." So he's saying that he doesn't like it there. He's not a bad kid, and he doesn't like being at the bad.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Kid school.
Yeah.
He's used to having his ass kissed, too. That's the other thing. Yeah. He's been having everybody help him and do all this at the bad kid school. There's no basketball team, so they don't really give a shit about you.
Brutal.
You're just another bad kid. Another kid who got kicked out of school. Mm-hmm. But everybody liked him at school. He's not like a brooding asshole in high school. He's a well-liked guy. He's known as a very happy-go-lucky, real bright, cheery guy who likes to play basketball and, decently behaved, never a problem, and was being looked at for scholarships. So he said that the alternative school is really kind of breaking his spirit. And he says that, the zero tolerance thing is kind of rough because he's fucked now. So he said that he's got a guy helping him, quote, a family friend who's an alderman.
What is that?
A city alderman, like an elected official.
Okay.
Who's a family friend. Yeah, I'm sure he's real tight with his grandma, an alderman. So
I feel like he heard about you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Family friend. Yeah. And he advocates for Anthony as well. He says no one denies that he should be punished, but the punishment is too severe here. You're fucking up his whole life, and he took a weapon to school to protect himself and the life of a fellow student. Okay. So he was protecting someone else even. This wasn't even just about him.
So he's a hero.
He's actually a hero if you think about it. Yeah. We should really probably, paint his picture on the outside wall like Nate Bargatze at Zany's at the truck drove through. Right. We'll give him like a big face.
It's a big mural.
If we think about it, honestly.
Around his ass.
Yeah, honestly, I don't get it. But that was after the start of gun-free school zones. Remember gun-free, drug-free school zone signs? They still
everything
have that shit.
Free. Only thing free. The only thing not free is it tons of anxiety and stress.
Yeah, you can have that.
We'll give you all of that.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So this one is appealed all the way up to the board. Because, about the zero tolerance policy. And they said the board sympathized with Anthony, but he could not. But he could have turned to adults for school for help, which not really. You can't really go tell the principal that some fucking kids outside who don't go to the school want to shoot you.
Right. The principal's got a gun?
The principal, what does he do? He calls the cops, and then these kids are going to kill you. You're going to shoot you even worse. Right. Like, you're
It's a really catch-22.
It's a catch-22 if you've ever been in that situation of being like, I got to handle this myself. Right. There's no way to deal with this. There's no help that can come from this except go get more friends.
I can't shine a bat light.
No, it's rough. So that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be great if this is real?
Yeah, or like on Family Guy, Spider-Man, everybody gets one.
Do they? What?
Spider-Man and Family Guy, for over the course of seasons, Spider-Man would pop up and save their lives every once in a while.
Everybody gets one?
And they'd go, thank you, Spider-Man. He goes, everybody gets one. And he takes off. And he would save like each one of them at different times. It's hilarious. Every time, though, everybody just shrugged. Everybody gets one. And he'd swing away.
Seth MacFarlane, you genius.
It's hilarious. So it cracks me up every time. It's so random out of nowhere. Yeah. Someone's falling off a cliff and all of a sudden they fall in a web like a hammock. And the Spider-Man, they're like, thank you, Spider-Man. Everybody gets one. When they're gone. Okay. That's different.
Not a great show. He commits, man. He really commits.
Hardcore. I remember that was years ago, Christ. So, anyway, he They said the principal said it's a shame because Anthony, quote, just turned the corner where he was getting ready to make quantum leaps in his basketball abilities.
Yeah.
So he ends up going to Warren High School.
It doesn't sound good.
Which is, no, it's a private school.
Oh.
And he's playing under, this is how far they took it. Now, no normal kid can do this. You really have to have some silver behind you to take it all the way past the school board out to outside courts to have a judge say that you're allowed to play basketball.
Wow.
You got to have, I mean, that is silver, man.
Right.
Think about that. If you played a sport in high school and they were like, you can't play anymore, you'd be like, Mom, they said I can't play. She'd be like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? And that would be it. It's over.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I don't play that anymore. And then you'd go steal a game from Sears. That's how you would roll.
Yeah.
They go all the way to a judge. That's how important this is.
I think that shade of silver is called Grundy silver.
That's Grundy. That's a Grundy silver.
Yeah.
It comes only on aldermen that help basketball players.
Some
and
city officials and unelected judges.
And on a Chrysler 300.
Right.
One of those.
It's a metallic silver.
It's a metallic silver. It's a
call it Grundy.
Like, is that blue under there? Like
it's Grundy.
Grundy.
Yeah.
It's like an old lady's hair. The undertone of it.
Unreal.
So this was a Warren Circuit Court judge and the Kentucky High School Athletic Association are fighting because the judge said that he could transfer to Warren High School and the school board said that he couldn't. So that's what ends up going on here. Warren Circuit Judge Tom Lewis issued a restraining order prohibiting the athletic association, the high school athletic association from denying Grundy a chance to play.
He hit them with legal
Think about
legal
this.
bounds of where they can step.
That's how good at basketball you are.
Yeah.
That they've completely... This is wild.
Incredible.
This is wild. This is 0.0001% of times this would happen. This is crazy. He enrolled at Warren here at the beginning of the year. He missed the first 2 games while awaiting approval from the Athletic Association for a transfer, and then they denied it, so a judge issued an emergency restraining order so he could play.
Right.
So he scored 16 points in his first game. The principal said that he denied that he broke the rules by allowing him to play. He said Warren Central High does not break the law, and we follow the dictation of the courts. Yeah, because a judge said it was okay.
Yeah.
So that's how it works here. They said that any student who transfers schools shall be the rules for the athletic association. It was the same as college was. Anyone who transfers schools shall be ineligible for interscholastic athletics 1 year from the date of enrollment.
Okay.
That's how this works. But they waived that and let them get right in there and play. So, there's waivers you can get for that, but usually it's not a judge with a restraining order.
Right. Yeah.
So the commissioner of the association said, quote, we don't even have a transfer on this kid yet. They have violated the rules from the word go. So they just stuffed him in there, got a judge to say it was okay, and got him on the court as soon as possible. This is very much... all about basketball. So they said that, this whole thing went on. According to the documents, then after that, there ended up being another whole problem for, the way it goes down is, now you're at this high school, they let you in, and now it starts to come out why you got kicked out of your old high school to begin with. So now you have people at the school who are like, why are we fighting to let this kid in who just took a gun to school?
Yeah.
Which ends up happening. So it's a big deal. So it comes out where he says the story they put out is that suspected gang members were the initiating parties. Anthony stood up for his basketball coach too. Now they're saying he was not only protecting his friends, but his coach too.
Who the hell is he?
And the coach was like, look, I'm happy that he protected me.
Yeah.
So that's how they're going to play this.
He's
against
like Doc Holliday.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
He said, God, now I got one for each of you.
Yeah, he's not even sworn in. He's just our protector.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
You know what?
He's
we
just
deputized him.
here.
Yeah. We told the off-duty police officer who said that he always had a big smile. We told him to fuck off. And we let Anthony take control.
We tried to swear him in and give him a pin, but he said, and a badge, but he said my hypocrisy only goes so far. And then he said, I don't need no stinking badges. And we were like, all right, that's cool. I guess he's fine. He's just going to protect us.
It's cool. So
guns.
Quote, stood up for his basketball coach against suspected gang members, one of whom subsequently threatened to kill Anthony. Fearing for his personal safety and well-being, Anthony took a firearm to school after the incident. They're like, oh, he's the poor guy. So also they're saying the suspension leading. They said the other thing was there's a weird thing about who signed a transfer to, between whether it was a guardian or some coach, or they were trying to get him not to play. Anyway, he ends up playing there. It's in Bowling Green. He plays, the coach there is a guy who played in the ABA. A good player, too, named Darryl Carrier, 3-time ABA All-Star.
How about that?
So that's, if you're a kid, you want to play for a guy who played in the pros.
Right.
And also Tim Kolovos, who was kind of
he was the guy who was protecting.
He's his kind of his overseer here. He kind of watched over Grundy as his guardian while he lived in Bowling Green. He basically lived with him. This is his silverest of silver guy here. This high school, who else went here? Oh, some guy who plays for the Seahawks who I've never heard of.
Who was that?
George Fant.
Okay.
Don't know.
Yes, I know that name.
You know that name?
Yeah.
I haven't paid attention to the Seahawks.
I believe defense. I think it's defense.
I'm not sure, but he played.
I've seen the name.
He played here in 2011. So now there's a scandal here, of course, that everything around this guy's always a scandal, whether it's his fault or not.
Right.
There's a scandal that basically the team went to the 14th district tournament and got a berth in the 4th region tournament. But after the season ended, they fired the coach. The ABA guy, Carrier, told him he didn't have a job because of recruiting violations.
Oh, no. He's
been doing things a little... those violations involve students Alan Wallace and Anthony Grundy, of course, obviously. So they end up... Warren Central was given by the Athletic Association, given the death penalty, so canceled their basketball program, basically. So they couldn't recruit people.
Wow.
Treated them like SMU here. This is
unbelievable.
This is hardcore. It's apparently a big deal, this high school recruiting, because really, if you're doing it with kids, that's pretty scummy.
High school that's a bit early and weird to be recruiting.
That's the thing, but it's hard. That's the most. They recruit really hard.
Do
here.
they?
Absolutely, they recruit so fucking
in
hard.
High school basketball.
Oh God, yeah.
Really?
Oh my God, there are schools that are basically 2 trailers that are there to have a basketball team to. Their basketball,
right?
Yeah, their little basketball program.
It's just a basketball camp where they
got
teach about
30
George
kids
Washington.
and they play basketball and teach certain things. Yeah, there's look up all the crazy basketball weird high school things there are.
I've never heard of that.
It's so weird, dude.
I just remember my high school. I mean, and I think
it's a normal high school.
I don't picture it that way.
No, there's literally like Florida has all sorts of weird shit. I know they were trying to pass laws to actually so schools had to be real schools, but it's Florida, so who knows.
High school I went to was mostly white kids, so clearly our sports team sucked.
So, not the best sports.
They were bad. They were real bad until we got a few different kids whose parents happened to play professional sports.
Oh yeah,
and then they did well.
Well, yeah,
and now they suck again.
You went to school with Mike Bibby.
Yeah,
so that's why. Yeah.
And Sean McDonald.
Yeah,
and they're the same family.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So they did well.
Obviously,
for like 4 years, and then it fell to shit again.
Back into nothing.
And now Bibby's kids are in there, and now they're doing great.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, they'll do great again.
Yeah.
And if they wait another 20 years,
right,
they're going to be set for it. So Carrier's here. He files a civil suit, which he alleges he was convicted without due process, slandered as a recruiter, and blackballed from future coaching positions. Oh boy! He was ruled ineligible for half of his senior season. This is Grundy because he was improperly recruited. So the second half of his senior season, Grundy's not allowed to play basketball. So he fights. Goes through all that shit, gets a judge to get him there, and then halfway through his senior year, he's off again, not allowed to play anymore.
Poor fuck.
So that again, colleges aren't looking at him the same. He's lost the interest of these A colleges at this point because they're tired of the back and forth with this guy. Who knows? He's got a gun. He's over here. He can't play anymore. He's improperly recruited.
He's eligible. He's ineligible.
Yeah, and I mean that's not his fault that the coach had some improprieties. That's not the kid's fault ever. But anyway, he's ruled ineligible for that. And what happens is he had already met freshman eligibility requirements academically because he had to do shit like off campus and things. So the Bradley University offers him a scholarship in Illinois. So Bradley's a mid-tier. They're not great, but they're Division 1A. They're
college.
They're college. Yeah, you're going to play. It's a real college. They make the tourney once every I don't know however many years. But he signs with Bradley, but he's convinced by someone we'll talk about here in a second to try to get out of that. Don't go to Bradley now. Take the rest of the year off, and then go to another high school next year. You still have some eligibility, and this guy got him into this military academy where a bunch of athletes have played. And like Torrey Holt, the Rams wide receiver, all these players went there. They're like, you play there, then you'll get more colleges interested. Okay. So he does that. Bradley fights it because they don't like it when you go back on your word, these colleges, and they try to keep him out of places. So he ends up going to Hargrave Military Academy, which is a prep school. See why Grace was a while ago? This is a fucking disaster.
This is brutal, man.
This is a disaster.
He has aged like 11 years in the past 6 months.
Yeah, he's just a kid.
The stress has got to be unbelievable.
A year and a half ago, he was just playing in his home school, playing basketball. Everything was fine.
Killing time with a game.
Yeah, now it's a goddamn disaster. So he leaves to play for a coach named Scott Shepard at Hargrave Military Academy. This is in Virginia, by the way, too. So this is out of state even. It's a private, all-male military boarding school.
I'm sure that's fun.
A lot of fun here. It's affiliated with the Baptist General Association of Virginia.
As if it couldn't get more fun.
Emphasizing Christian values. So it's military and Christian. Yeah. Wow. Values that focuses on a college and military preparatory program.
Clearly to fix fuck-ups.
As I say, you can't fuck up here is the thing, though. Yeah. That's maybe just to keep him on a campus, for now.
This place is designed for either the worst of the worst or the most innocuous, just people that'll never get in trouble, that are just super Baptist.
Well, it serves boys from around the world for grade 7 through postgraduate.
Oh.
So you can stay there forever.
Get your doctorate.
Hargrave was named a National School of Character in 2016, whatever the shit that means. Means no one's getting laid.
It's a no fun, and there's a lot of
how much masturbation is going on
so much
there.
Shower yanking.
Jesus,
good God!
You open the door in a hallway, and you're like, Jesus, it smells like jizz in here.
It's just fuck. Would you guys just have a maid bleach the place, or are you all jerking now?
Happening in here? It's too much, guys. It's too much.
I'm sure it smells.
It's bad stuff. So colleges, like I said, he signed the letter of intent. He goes there for his senior year, though, to the military school. And he ends up where he's going to try to go look at other schools and fight the letter of recruitment thing.
Okay.
So he's looking at North Carolina State. His high school coach drives him to North Carolina State. He sleeps in the back of the car on the way there.
Sure, that was comfortable.
Yeah. The coach said, quote, he was awestruck. We came out of Reynolds Coliseum, which was the Wolfpack's home court at NC State, and he said, hey, that's pretty nice. Then he was asking me what he had to do to go to NC State. He was a very determined kid. He was determined to make something of his life and his future. He was at a very difficult point in his life, and his basketball was his way out. So he petitioned the NCAA because the letter was co-signed. His letter of intent, this is where this comes in, was co-signed by his family minister, not his legal guardian.
Oh!
So he tried to find he said, well, this isn't, I didn't.
Yeah.
He's not my legal guardian.
You guys want to play your fucking legal games? Here's the legal game.
You should have looked better and gotten ID or something off of somebody.
This is invalid.
Yep. So he ends up, after a year and a half at Hargrave, so he's like 20 years old at this point. Not quite, but 19. He ends up winning his appeal and gets out of the Bradley situation.
That guy ain't shit to me.
No, who the hell is he? And he ends up enrolled at North Carolina State in December 1998, and he's right into the basketball team here. The Wolfpack coach said it's, quote, this is Herb Sendek. He said it's, you know who he is?
It's a big deal.
Is he? Herb Sendek? There you go. It's always difficult to pass judgment on people you don't know. When you're not aware of their circumstances, it becomes even tougher. Anthony has worked so hard every day to overcome everything. I didn't think for a second that Anthony was anything but a good person. He just needed a place to prove it to everyone else. Yeah. This right now, okay, take everything else off the table. Whatever happened in high school, who cares?
Yeah.
Right now, you are at a major program. Mm-hmm. This program, they won a national championship, 15 years earlier than this, but still, there's a banner hanging. This isn't some Division III shithole. Yeah. You're going to be on television. You do well here, you'll be in the goddamn NBA.
Right.
You have everything in front of you. College, you can get a degree for free.
Yeah.
Everything is great here. Well, not for free. We know how that goes, and they should pay you, obviously, as we know. But I'm saying, like, you have all the opportunity for right now that
doors are open
that you could want and you've ever dreamed of. So this is good. So right now, clean slate for Anthony as far as I'm concerned. But they said that he's good with, he's well coached, like he's good at taking coaching. One of his coaches said, this is Sendek actually, he has tremendously long arms and also tremendous anticipation and also very quick hands, which allows him to get his hands on a lot of balls.
Well, I mean, he did go to Hargrave.
He did go to her, which she's been stroking.
Yeah, his hands are real quick.
Long arms, very quick hands, which allows him to get his hands on a lot of balls. So watch out. Long arms, he can reach over and just, you don't even...
Under the table.
You don't even see it. He's just so quick. It's like, oh, is he on my balls? Holy shit. His hand's right on my balls.
Oh, Herb.
Oh, come on, Herb. Grundy says, quote, making the big play is something I try to do at the end. A lot of big-time players do that, and I just try to do that. All right, then.
He's very simple with the speech.
He's very simple. Yeah, he says, if I continue to do the things that I need to do, working, individual instruction, weightlifting, I think I could do better.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. He went to the media training class where they told him, just say, I'm working hard, and hopefully it'll be better in the future. That's all you ever have to say.
Improvement. Say shit along those lines. Everything will be fine.
You make big plays at the end of the game. Well, I like to make big plays because I like to try to do that. Big players do it, so I try to do it too. That's all. So the Chris Vance is a silver-haired middle-aged white man extraordinaire here, and he's the guy who orchestrates the whole thing of don't go to Bradley, stay in this military school, fight the thing, go to a better college. He does all of that shit, but it's with he's also trying to be attached to Grundy, apparently, saying, well, he's going to be a coach wherever he goes. He's got his arm around the kid like that. So
we're a package deal.
He's one of those guys where you're like, I don't know about that here. So, Bradley, though, it's funny that Vance was the guy who, fought him or tried to get him to fight for the whole thing. And, he said that Grundy and Vance both acknowledged when they're asked by the press that Grundy and Vance had discussed making themselves a package deal to go to college, with Vance going as a coach.
When has that ever been a thing?
Yeah. They asked Grundy and he says, quote, we talk about it. He's been there for me. So, yeah. And Vance said that was an option, but we figured it was best to go our separate ways. Yeah. In other words, once it came out, I really looked like an asshole for trying to glom onto this fucking kid. Yeah. Don't do that.
And everybody knew I was a dickbag.
With his silver suction cups attached to him. Take me with you. You're good, and I'm going to be... Oh, that's so disgusting.
At that point, he's like a tapeworm. Stop it with your fucking parasitic... It's horrible.
Those high school coaches that do that are just... They are disgusting. Or they pay them for it's just to try to influence the kid.
When is any really great player ever had his fucking high school coach as... did Phil Jackson coach Michael Jordan? Did I not know that?
No, it happens a lot where they'll...
In the NBA, though?
No, not in the NBA. In college, where a guy will get a job as like an assistant coach.
Really?
They'll take somebody with them. Yeah, that happens a lot.
I hate that.
It's gross.
That's disgusting.
This happened. This is kind of the end of it because the press was really on top of that shit by now, and this is the internet in the 90s.
You can find anything.
70s, 80s, that happened all the time.
Ew.
That was the most common thing in the world. Even every movie, like 80s, 90s movie about some scumbag, programs where kids go looking at colleges, there's always a high school coach trying to push him in one direction because if he goes there, he gets a job too. There's always that. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
I don't like it at all.
It's gross. So he visited several schools, goes to NC State, and initially he's just kind of a bench and kind of a role player. 98, 99 NC State, they're only 19 and 14, so no tournament. No, nothing.
No.
The ACC tournament, which everybody in the ACC goes to.
Got to play 33 games.
Yeah, he's all second team, Anthony Grundy is, of the ACC tournament.
Oh, okay.
So he has a good tournament. He played in 25 games that year. He had 21.4 minutes a game, so, he's half the game in there. Not dominating, but, 8 points. He's got 8 points a game, 3 rebounds a game, 1.5 steals, 2 assists.
So he's the second best point guard in the ACC
in that tournament. On the second team. Yeah. So there you go. May 1999. Okay. So this is right after his freshman year, at the end of his freshman year here. There is a criminal summons filed against him for simple assault. Something about some altercation with another guy on this one. I don't know what the hell happened, if it was on the street, in a bar.
Yeah.
Not sure, but the charge ends up being dismissed, so there's not a lot made of it.
Okay.
So it ends up being dismissed kind of before he's even arrested. It's handled, kind of thing. And
we'll discuss this later.
Things get handled for this guy quite a bit. As we'll find out. 99-2000 Wolfpack, they go 20-14. Not much better. Anthony, though, is much better. He plays in 33 games. He starts 30 games. He's playing about 31 minutes a game, 12.5 points per game, 2.8 assists, 4.6 rebounds, 2.1 steals, which his long arms, he's grabbing a lot of balls.
Yeah.
That's quick hands.
Yeah.
You're grabbing balls.
And he got 2 steals a game?
And 2.1 steals a game. And that, Jimmy. And think about how many men are satisfied.
At least one Anthony Grundy.
After that, they just give him the ball. That's why he's got it. So, I mean, once you jerk a guy off, what are you going to do? Blow past him and dunk on him? It's like, thanks, bro. And then you got to
hand it over.
Once he fondled your nutsack, you got to just give him the ball.
Pay the toll.
Yeah. Maybe he's like, give me the ball or I'll tell.
Right.
Either one. I'm not sure. I'll tell everybody. So 2000-2001 Wolfpack, they're 13-16, which, Jesus, that's pretty...
They stink.
That's pretty miserable that year. Yeah, that's terrible. 7th in the ACC. Yeah. Not good.
But he worked his way into starting position.
He's starting by now, as we'll talk about, but something more important happened here. January 26th, 2001, which is right in the heart of the season.
January, he loves it.
Oh, yeah, January is when he goes a little nuts here. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, Jimmy. 3 a.m. Do you know what's happening here?
Not sleep.
Not sleep. This is at the Avery Close Apartments on the 2000 block of Avant Ferry Road. This is down there. It happens at a woman's apartment, as a matter of fact. This is Makazi Ife Matingwa is the woman's name. She's 20 years old. She's a junior at North Carolina State.
Yeah.
And she and Grundy had been going out since June, basically. The last 6-7 months they've been together. Fucking around, whatever, college, boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right.
They ended up breaking up the week before over what she said, quote, over something silly, which is what most
college or high school relationships.
Yeah, you're in college. Yeah, it's, it's all pretty temporary and kind of transient at that point. So
silly is all encompassing. Really, all your problems at that time could be considered fucking silly.
Anything. Silly could be he banged some other broad back then, though, or in college. You're like, I don't know, it was silly. He just fucked some other chick, and it wasn't like my sister or anything. So, people get over shit easily when you're 20. So, she said that she's from Greensboro. She lives here now. She said that she began calling Grundy at about 5 p.m., asking him to return a CD that he had borrowed. Oh, breaking up.
Yep.
Breaking up. I want that CD back.
Yep.
And you're like,
gonna need that Mary J. Blige.
God damn it.
Bring it back.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
So, and he had borrowed it. He finally returned her call around 6:30, and she said that he came by her apartment sometime before 7. So he was like, all right, cool, I'll come bring the CD. She said, quote, he said something about wanting to make love with me.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you're gonna give me a blowjob for this. For the CD.
Yes.
That's what he said.
That's what's going to happen here. Yeah. So apparently they got into an argument over this whole thing.
Yeah.
And she said that the argument, she said at one point, like, why do you want to, I thought we weren't together. Now you want to be with me. Right. And they're having that argument. He's like, oh, what's up? Let's get together. And she's like, oh, you want to break up with me, but now you want to fuck me?
You still want this?
Like, right. Exactly. So this is all very... very typical.
It's immature shit.
It's just what kids do, basically. And at some point, she said, though, Grundy, according to her, grabbed her by the arm and the neck and pulled her toward him. She said, quote, he grabbed me by the back of the neck and I started screaming and scratching. I tried to get him off of me. She said she fell backwards onto the couch and bounced off and fell into the coffee table from this whole thing. She said, quote, I fell into the glass of the table. I kept screaming for him to leave me alone and that I was calling the police. She dialed 911 and she said that she was, at that point, she noticed that she had 2 big cuts on her leg from the table, and they arrived about 8 o'clock to the situation. Oh, boy. And this was to her apartment, and they said that the police officer said, quote, I saw a young lady. She walked out on her own power, but she had her pant leg rolled up. It looked to be bandaged or something out on her leg. So they arrest him, charge him with misdemeanor assault. And she obviously wanted to file charges. She's treated at the hospital for her injuries at Wake Med. Later, they end up, like I said, arresting him. He's placed under a secured $1,000 bond, and then it's modified to be released on his own recognizance.
Okay.
So they release him on his own recognizance to the custody of who?
Yeah.
NC State assistant coach Larry Harris.
Oh boy.
Hair silver.
Yeah.
He had like a black mane in his car. As soon as he walked through the door, he looked like Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos. Just silver streaks running up and down the side of his head.
Yeah.
The coach said, Herb Sendek said, Grundy told him he was innocent. Herb says, look, Grundy told me nothing happened, so it's fine. Sendek said, I'm going to allow him to play in the game today. He's going to practice today and play tomorrow in the game against, the other. We got a big game coming up, is what he said. He's arrested. So he's arrested like 3 o'clock Saturday morning, and he is practicing that afternoon, which is interesting.
When assault of a woman is involved.
Yes, assault of, he will be allowed to continue to participate with the team while the judicial process runs its course and weighs Anthony's account of what happened, is what Herb Sendek said. In this specific case, he maintains his innocence of this misdemeanor charge, and therefore it's important that he be afforded all of liberties and due process. It's very important. You know why? Because they have big games coming up. That's what we'll talk about. They literally are playing 2 giant games.
Rival week this week.
It is. It's coming up big. They got to play Syracuse and Wake Forest coming up too. They got a lot going on. Like one's ranked 11 and one's ranked 9. It's a big deal.
And he's our starting point guard.
And he's a he's a starter and a big deal for us at this point. So he is allowed to play. They said that Grundy conferred with Sendek and the athletic director, Lee Fowler, on Saturday morning, and they said, we think he should play. Now she, the woman here, Matingwa, she says that she's afraid that the police and the university officials are going to be indifferent to what happened to her because Grundy's a star athlete. Yeah, she said, quote, I'm extremely afraid they're going to downplay this because he's a ball player and they want him to play. It's particularly upsetting. It comes with he's allowed to play. The game on that Sunday is North Carolina, and then they have to play 9th-ranked Wake Forest and then 11th-ranked Syracuse right after that.
Oh, boy.
So he's not sitting out.
No.
He's playing.
The meat of the fucking season.
Yeah.
The hard part.
Absolutely. So a couple days after this, there's an editorial in the newspaper there. It's a woman named Ruth Sheehan writes it. And in an article after this, she kind of said, it's a little ridiculous that you're letting a guy play after a domestic violence incident. They got so many letters saying, like, how dare you, that she actually had to write kind of a sarcastic retraction of this. It's pretty funny. Not funny, but she said that it's ridiculous that she said that she has to do this. She said, in Thursday's column, I wrote that Grundy received special treatment on a domestic violence charge because he's an athlete. What I didn't know is that because Grundy and his ex-girlfriend did not live together, his assault charge is not legally considered a domestic violence. So because they had separate electric bills, it's just plain old violence. That's a significant difference because it's only in domestic violence cases that a defendant may be held over a weekend for up to 48 hours before appearing before a district judge. If Grundy had been charged with domestic violence, it truly would have required district judge's intervention to get him out so quickly. Because he was charged with simple assault, however, he was released on his own recognizance. And then she says, my apologies. First to Anthony Grundy for misrepresenting his charge, to the members of the Wolf Pack Club whose intervention did not win special treatment of a domestic violence case. Gee, good for you. And finally to the NCSU fans, 300 of whom took the time to write to me Thursday as of 6 p.m. And here's one in particular. Josh Barwick wrote, Jesus Christ, that he hopes she got fired, and then said, quote, P.S. Grundy is innocent with like 8 exclamation points, believe with like 8 exclamation points, and go Pack.
Unbelievable.
So that's what they're dealing with. North Carolina, that area, the triangle, the Raleigh-Durham area.
Oh, he's not telling her what to do. He's saying, go Wolfpack.
Go Wolfpack. Oh, you're saying, go pack a bag?
Yeah. I was like, what kind of fucking way to sign off is that?
They're insane for college basketball.
That's
there.
unbelievable.
That
though.
is their main sport they give a shit about.
I
is
hope
college basketball.
North Carolina has changed that law. That just because you don't live there, you can go punch a bitch. And
I don't know what's up with that.
You can't be punching women and then just
I don't live
like,
there.
We got separate Netflix. So
I'm
gonna
whoop your ass, but first I'm moving out because I don't want. I'd like a lesser charge.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay at mom's house.
How
tonight.
long
I don't
do you
live
have
here
to be?
now.
Yeah, how long do you have to be separate for? What's that?
All my shit's in the car, so I punched her on my way out.
That's how it works. But you know what?
What the fuck?
No court until after the season, so they let the everything play all out nice here. The ACC tournament. He starts 25 games that year, 31 minutes a game, 14.6 points, 4.3 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 2.2 steals.
Yeah,
he's playing.
He's doing well.
They don't care.
Playing like his freedom depends on it.
Well, yeah, that's right. It's absolutely right. Like he's like his reputation and everything else. They'll push this under the rug if I can hit 14 a game.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Right. April 16th, 2001, in court, the woman here, Matingwa, she's testified that he attacked her in the apartment and says that, and he says that she attacked him in a jealous rage and that he never laid a finger on her. He says she did it all to herself.
Okay.
The judge ended up, in the end, they say, not guilty.
Oh, boy.
You're good.
Yeah.
So it was his word against her word. They took his word for it. He said, quote, I apologize to the university, my team, the coaches, and friends for being put in the position that I have, that they have. So sorry I put you in a position like that.
No words for her, huh?
The main reason why, well, no, not at all, because he says, I
didn't do it.
The main reason here why he ended up getting off on this, one of the main reasons, was this isn't the first time she apparently used to go out with a NC State football player and accused him of assaulting her. Because, football players have never assaulted their girlfriends. That's so far-fetched.
It seems so out of the realm.
Can't imagine two athletes. What are the odds?
What are the odds of guys that...
40, 50%? And what are the odds that would happen?
Competing against men.
And those charges were also dismissed.
Interesting.
So if you go out with a North Carolina athlete, you better film everything or hope they don't want to whoop your ass because they're not getting in trouble for it. So in 2001, 2002, they're 23-11. They go to the tournament this year. They play number 10 seeded Michigan State in the first round, and they win.
Really?
69-58. Holy shit!
Trojans, Spartans, what are they?
Spartans. Yeah. And then the second round, they play number 2 seeded UConn and lose 77-44. So they play them tight, but they still lose. He was really good, though. He scored in the ACC tournament that year. He scored 32 points against Virginia, and then had a 24-pointer, including clinching the winning, getting the winning point with a free throw.
Oh,
so against in an upset of Maryland,
making a showing.
So yeah, he was showing himself off in his senior year here. He played in 34, or he started 33 games, 17.8 points a game, 2.1 steals, 3.5 assists, 5.5 rebounds.
Great player.
2001-2002 ACC All-Defensive Team. 2001-2002 All-ACC First Team.
Really?
Yeah, listen to the other guys in that category here. Maryland's Juan Dixon. You know who he is?
No.
He was one of the best players in college that year and was a top 15 draft pick.
What happened to him?
So, actually, he's on Real Housewives of Potomac at this point.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he is.
Poor bastard.
He's coaching for, like, Coppin State for a while, and he's coaching, like...
Was that living in D.C.?
D.C., yeah. He's coaching in, like, middling, lower programs.
Yeah,
he coached a women's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to stay in the area where he's popular.
How long did he play in the NBA?
10 years.
Really?
Yeah, bunch of different, and he played for Washington too. So in that area,
okay.
So it was.
That's why I didn't know of him.
His wife's one of the cooler ones on there too.
Really?
She's not crazy.
The Wizards have never been good.
Not really.
It's a
no,
bad
you don't
team.
expect them to be good.
No.
Yeah, they need to Wes Unseld back maybe.
They just need the Bullets back.
Yeah.
Are they the Bullets now?
Yeah. No. They're still that. They won't let them be the fucking Bullets. No.
Oh yeah, you're a good point.
Not allowed to be the Bullets anymore.
Not in DC.
No. God forbid if you say you're fast.
Right.
Faster than a speeding.
Right.
Yeah. Nope. Can't be.
Coyote.
It must be violence.
Right.
So
it needs to be a hornet or a bobcat.
Or a wizard that doesn't exist. We'll have that. So Juan Dixon and then 3 Duke guys, Carlos Boozer, Mike Dunleavy, and Jason Williams.
Wow.
NBA. And
great.
Juan Dixon, NBA. That's a lot of the first round of the draft is in that team, and he's on that team, which is pretty impressive and not bad. And also all ACC tournament first team as well.
Yeah.
Pretty goddamn impressive here. He becomes the first player in school history to lead his team in 5 major statistical categories.
What are they?
They are scoring, assists, rebounds, steals, and 3-pointers made.
It's everything.
He's their team.
Yeah.
So you can see why.
Are there other stats?
If he throws a woman through a coffee table, he's still on the court. That's the thing. He also earned all defensive honors, so he's doing all that, and he's a shutdown defensive guy. One of his teammates said throughout everything, he's always kept his composure. He's never put his head down and felt sorry for himself. I think it's amazing. It's amazing.
Just out of opinion, James, what do you think is worse? Taking a gun places where they're not supposed to be, or hurting a woman?
Way worse. Yeah,
right?
On the woman thing.
And they will fuck your entire life and career trajectory up for one of them.
Yeah. And it's
wow.
Correct, too.
Mind-blowing.
You can't be beating people up
right.
there. So.
No, but I mean, the gun ruined his fucking life.
It did, yeah. This was a
blip in his career.
He didn't even miss a practice.
Right.
He literally...
threw a woman through her Ashley furniture.
12 hours later.
Unbelievable.
He's practicing because Ikea's glass was...
broke her over a doter, or whatever they're called.
Fucking...
A Swansea.
A Rotec or some shit. So with a K.
Yeah.
So he says, this is Grundy's words on college. Let's give him it in their own words, where he says here. So we'll do in their own words, quote, "It's been something special for me. I've come a long way. I'm just glad I've had the people around me to keep me going. There's been plenty of times where I could have just quit, stepped back, or not finished what I'm doing here at all. For it to be ending this way, I'm very proud. My family is very proud. It's something I can look back on and tell my 3-year-old son what I've accomplished, and hopefully it can trickle down to him as well. It makes you realize all the hard work you put into previous years is paying off."
He's a father.
Oh, yeah, he's a father.
Jesus.
3-year-old Jaquan here.
Oh,
so
boy.
at least he didn't name him after himself, so that's
a
good.
bad name. He knew it.
Yeah, he's like, he's not going to be Anthony Grundy again. So the 2002 NBA draft comes up here, and you'd imagine, fuck, he does everything. There's a guy you want somewhere. 2002.
Yeah.
Number 1 overall, 2002, Jimmie.
Dwight Howard?
Yao Ming.
Oh, really? That was
Ming,
close, right?
yeah.
That was only a couple years later, probably, with Dwight.
Yao Ming, Jay Williams from Duke, who was on the team with him there, and then Mike Dunleavy, who was on the All-ACC team. That's number 3 overall. Drew Gooden from Kansas.
Okay.
Let's see here. Dewan Wagner, Chris Wilcox, Amari Stoudemire, number 9. Karan Butler, who will have his own episode. Don't worry. Oh, yeah, big time. Number 10. That's kind of the...
It's a bad draft.
It's not a good draft.
Not a good one at all.
Other than that, you got Quintel Woods and guys like that. It's not a wonderful draft. You know who doesn't get drafted? Anthony Grundy.
Stop that.
Not at all.
All ACC, not even drafted.
Not even drafted.
Wow.
Everybody else, first round, him, Ugats.
A gun and a woman problems. That'll ruin things.
Yeah, because Carlos Boozer was a high pick the next year, too. So he ends up instead playing for the Raleigh Knights.
Really?
The Raleigh Knights.
Oh, my.
In 2003, 2004. So, yeah.
That's not good at all.
That is just like some, minor league squad here. He also has some trouble in 2004, maybe because he's depressed because he didn't get to the NBA.
Yeah.
He's arrested in North Carolina because he stays around college where he's well liked, and he is arrested for DUI.
Oh boy!
And this is not going to be the first whatsoever. He is found guilty of this offense after he had a 0.15 blood alcohol content. It's a lot. He's pretty drunk.
He's drinking.
So he ends up going and playing some pro ball here next, Jimmy. Pro ball in the G League.
Yeah, Gatorade League. That's what that means.
That is the Gatorade League. Yeah, it is.
It's embarrassing.
He plays for the Roanoke Dazzle.
Oh, no.
The Dazzle.
What's worse, Raleigh Knights or the Dazzle?
The Dazzle sounds like it's
a WNBA team.
It sounds like a 7th grade girls team.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like. The 12 at 13, they don't want to be the Dazzle anymore.
Sounds like you're playing basketball with a few people named Leslie.
Yeah, or it's like a My Little Pony team.
It's just all inclusive. It's co-ed.
Yeah.
Everybody plays.
My Little Pony episode, that was they had to play like whoever their enemies are, and we're the Pony Dazzles. That's who they were. So
this is embarrassing.
Oh, Pony Dazzle.
Yeah.
They go 25 and 23 that year, so good for him with the Roanoke Dazzle. Yay. But good news is the Roanoke Dazzle actually get him noticed somehow by the Atlanta Hawks of the NBA, obviously. March 27th, 2006, he signs a 10-day contract with the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
All right? The Hawks were shit that year, 26 and 56.
Oh, boy.
26 games out of first place.
Oh, my God.
Not good.
How hard is it to watch a team
it's bad.
that loses like that?
It's Joe Johnson, Al Harrington, and I think you have an uncle that's on the team.
This is when Joe Johnson left the Suns to go
to get money there.
Yeah,
and that's what you got to do.
And he was all they had.
Oh, yes, him and Al Harrington. That's it. And Zaza Pachulia, guys like that.
He's a three-point shooter.
Tyronn Lue.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're filling out your squad here. Salim Stoudemire.
Tyronn Lue was not coaching. He was playing.
He was playing. That's the thing. He's their point guard.
Yeah.
Salim Stoudemire, which is the wrong Stoudemire.
Yes, twice.
Royal Ivy, remember him? Oh, boy.
No.
Tony Delk is on this team for a minute.
Oh, my God.
So it's not a good team, as we can tell by their record. He plays for them for 12 games.
Really?
So he got his 10-day extended anyway.
Yeah.
Good for him. He averages 9 minutes a game. Very impressive. 4.3 points a game. Oh, boy. 1.4 rebounds, 0.8 assists, and 0.6 steals per game. And that's all for him for the NBA.
That's a quick career, sir.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, and that's all. 12 games with Atlanta.
he had less time with them than people have like paid vacation at their jobs.
You have way more PTO than that at the electric company, I feel like, than that. 12 days.
Unbelievable.
12 games. I mean, for a person like me or you, if me or you played 12 games in the NBA,
forget it. I'd be the smuggest asshole on the planet.
Never stop talking about it, ever.
I'd never.
My license plate would be 12 games. That would be my license plate. I swear to Christ, I would never stop talking about it.
NBA 12.
Yeah. Anytime anyone, he played in the NBA for how long? How many? 12 games. 12. Flashing 10 and 2.
More fingers than you got, motherfucker.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Pretty cool, right? No, I met Joe Johnson.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
I've played as many games as Bill Russell played championships. That's what happened.
12 games. I'd be a smug fuck, but if you worked your whole life and went to college and was all ACC
and all you got was 12 games,
and you could play 12 games, you're not quite as thrilled with it.
What did he get paid for that, James?
Minimum. I mean, nothing.
Was it $3,000?
I probably made 20 grand or something. I mean, nothing much. I mean, nothing that's going to worth your whole life.
He didn't buy a house with it.
No, nothing that's worth your whole life.
Right.
But this is when Europe and the European leagues start to really blow up, and they pay big money for good American players, for good imports, and that's where he ends up going from then on, making his bones in Europe, which is a perfect place for him. A guy like him who's like a hustle guy, they love that shit over there. They want the fundamentals of the game and stuff, so he's perfect. 2006, though, before he gets into all that, he's in North Carolina hanging around, home, of course.
Oh, boy.
And you got to imagine when he goes out, everybody knows him from college, and it's that people buy him drinks and shit like that. So maybe that's why he can't go out without driving and being shit-faced, because he gets another DUI in 2006 in North Carolina. He's convicted again there, and this time he goes to court, and it's his second time in 2 years. They're not quite as lenient with him. The judge says, "You, sir, may fuck off. 12 months in prison."
He got a year.
Suspended, though.
Oh, okay.
Suspends it. Orders instead.
That's a break.
That's a huge break.
Yeah.
Second DUI in 2 years.
He was getting prison time.
Yeah, that's a year. You're fucked. That's not cool. Instead, he will be placed on supervised probation for 18 months, surrender his driver's license, and submit to random urine tests as well.
Would you rather just go to prison for a year?
I mean, it sounds like
that's prison for 18 months in your house.
Supervised probation, which means you have to check in and take piss tests every week.
That's horrible.
It's a huge pain in the ass.
And you pay for that.
But he can still get laid.
Sure.
You can still go out and get women. You can still,
I might do a year and call it good.
Maybe. He'd be in jail. Everybody probably like him. I mean, he's a local hero. You know what I'm saying? He'd probably do fine.
I'd rather go.
Maybe it'd be better.
18 months? That's too long.
Jail,
God,
though.
fuck, man.
That's so long. So 2006, 2007, he goes and signs up to go play in Italy, which, I mean, shit, I'd rather be in Italy than Raleigh any day.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. So
there's a good beach.
There's no Under the Durham Sun. That's not a movie. That's not a movie for a reason.
There's not
Under the Cary Sun.
Right. Apart from barbecue, North Carolina doesn't have like a real food culture.
No,
Italy's got everything.
Oh well, yeah, Italy is.
I mean, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
It's everything.
It's not bad in Italy. Yeah, it's
a beach with hot women everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's a fucked up ass country too.
Yeah,
but
it's a mess.
If you want to just enjoy yourself though, the food, the everything else, it's wonderful. So he goes and plays with Sevilla Ware Teramo.
Okay,
is where he plays here. They are 13 and 21 that year. I would love to talk about his teammates because there's a couple.
How many Luigi's?
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about his teammates. There's Anthony Grundy. There's a couple imports. Anthony Grundy, Mike Bernard, Dwayne Woodward. Okay, Leroy Hurd, Jack Martinez. He could be Spanish there from right over there. Norman Nolan, Brandon Brown, Damian Miller, and then it gets fun.
Yeah.
Then we get into Giuseppe Poeta. Hey, it's a Giuseppe Poeta.
The guy plays basketball?
Giuseppe. I'm going to draft a Giuseppe.
Yeah.
Giuseppe averages 6.4 points per game. And a Giuseppe makes a wonderful garlic and oil. You just rub the garlic through the oil and just leave it a flavor with a nice, fresh basil leaf. It's the fresher pastas what's really the important part. See?
Who else they got?
It's not even that. It's Giuseppe's. He's talking. Giuseppe's got a lot to talk about. Gianluca Lulli.
Of course they do.
Gianluca, of course. I don't think he's from around there.
Giuseppe.
Kristaps Janakowicz or Genesox. Oh boy. Walter Santarosa.
Yeah.
Walter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Walt.
Walt. Nicholas. Oh boy, is that guy Greek. Papa Nicolopoulos. Papa Nicolopoulos.
Yeah,
that's literally his name.
That's a big jersey.
That is a lot. Dude, it's arched big time.
He has to get two sizes too big on his jersey just to fit it.
It's a U. It goes around his number. He has to have a single digit.
Yeah.
And then Gennaro Valentino, Giovanni Pinzari. It's a Giovanni Pinzari. It's a Giovanni. He passed over to Gianluca, over to Giuseppe. It's a score. Hey!
It's impossible to call that game. You'd have to just call them by numbers.
It's a Poeta. Over to Gianluca. Over to Riccardo Marzoli, who's the last guy on the team. Riccardo Marzoli brings it up at the court. He goes, Giovanni Pinzari. He's open into the corner. He drives to the lane. He's a kick out to Giuseppe Poeta. Giuseppe is shot as a beautiful, like a poetry, like his name. He's a fake of the shot. They had a fake. Oh, so beautiful. They had a fake. Like art. He passed over though to Gianluca Lulli for the dunk under the board.
Holy cannoli!
Oh, he gave him the Lulli. It's an alley Lulli.
Holy cannoli is absolutely his catchphrase, right?
Holy cannoli. Holy cannoli. It's a dunk. It's a dunk by Giuseppe.
Every three-pointer he screams holy cannoli.
It's a holy cannoli. I would love that.
That's amazing.
I don't know what position he plays, Giuseppe, but I really want him to play.
Yeah.
I really want him to be like, I want him to soar through the air.
A power forward or something
yeah.
like that.
But Anthony, though, he plays in 33 games, which is pretty good here. Averages 31 minutes a game, 18.2 points a game.
He's their guy.
Yeah, by far the team leader in scoring. And 4.4 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 2.7 steals. That is vicious.
Wow.
He is grabbing everybody's balls.
It's tickling balls, James.
You know what? Over there, too, it's a little more.
Yeah.
So he goes, hey, he's touching my balls. It's all right. It's all right.
A little more invited.
I kiss him under the cheek when I meet him, so let's understand. I wanted to feel on my balls and make sure I have them.
It's a loving community.
He says, oh, maybe you have a 1. I feel bad for you. You know, you have a 2. You're okay. It's nice. I want to make sure for no lump. So 2007, 2008, though, he ends up going to Greece and playing for, Jesus Christ, Panellinos. Panellinos?
Huh?
Panellinos. Okay.
Sounds like a yogurt.
Panellinos, it does.
Yeah.
Panellinos Froyo.
Yeah.
Froyonios. They have, he averages 21.4 points a game there, though. Absolutely crushes it. He's the league's top scorer that year.
Really?
So leads the league in scoring. Big old import. 2.7 assists, 2.3 steals. Killing
Found
it.
his place.
Found his spot here. 2008, 2009, plays for them again. This time he averages 15.3 points a game. Maybe they saw him coming a little more, but still 2.2 steals, 3.7 assists. He fills out a stat sheet, this guy here. 2009, he joins Ferrara. Carifa Ferrara, which is back in Italy again. He's good in a stop. I don't know. I miss a Giuseppe.
It's beautiful down there.
It's just so pretty.
They got a fucking a Riviera, James.
It's the truth. It is. Italy's fucking nice, man.
It's on the water.
It is on the water.
It's unbelievable.
You can't really beat
No.
that. That's pretty solid shit.
It's Europe's Florida if Florida got rid of all the awful.
Greece is pretty too. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like you look at Greece, it's all the mountains and it's pretty. So
it's part of the Riviera.
I mean, if you can go there and get paid to play basketball, I don't know what's the drawback.
Why would you come back ever?
That's what I mean. What's the drawback?
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, if you're the league's top scorer and shit, like, you probably.
I'm sure it's not the prestige of being LeBron.
I think that's what it is.
know what
The
I mean?
guys, they probably still have like the ego of wanting to be
I'm
recognized.
this good here. Why can't I pan out there?
And that's the thing. You want to be recognized in the top tier league, and obviously the guys from these leagues are trying to get into the NBA and trying to get drafted into the NBA, and it's tough. But man, going over there though, and just.
I'd love it.
I always see that.
I'd love it.
I get like Billy Ray Bates in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Like that's a very different culture. For better or worse, it doesn't matter. It's just a very different culture. Philippines are very hot as well and very humid, and you really gotta be okay with living in the Philippines. It's a different.
It's a jungle.
It's a different. There's a lot of jungle. There's a lot. Exactly. Just the weather. I'm saying it's a lot. It's very difficult. You got to really deal with that. But if you're going to Italy, it's like, oh, you want me to leave to go where?
Right.
Shit, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to leave here.
No. So
to North Carolina.
And he doesn't. He's doing great there. He's always playing more than 30 minutes a game, and he's playing in the Euro Cup with these teams as well, and scoring well in the Euro Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing fine. Problem is, he comes back home in between all this shit, to visit home and flash it. Probably got some money.
Talk about
Europe. Yeah, talk about his 12 games, and then that exhausts quickly.
Now he's got an accent.
Now, hello. I'm Anthony Grundy.
Nothing is worse.
You calling me Tony, please. Please, call me Tony.
Oh, you've been to a foreign country. I get it.
This food you call what? Olive Garden?
Yeah.
Very much shit. Very much shit food.
You're now an expat, you fucking asshole.
He is. So, he does. This is very American behavior here. July of 2010, he is arrested.
Oh.
Which is as American as it gets. As apple pie.
In July?
In July,
Yeah.
he comes home. He is arrested, and he ends up being convicted again of DUI.
His third one.
Again, yes. He shows at the time of the sentencing he already had, by the way, that's not all. He had the other two. It's been 4 years, but he had one the month before as well.
Oh, my God.
So then he got arrested, and when all this went to court, it came out, and they go, you had one the month before this too? Holy shit, you're a fucking monster.
This is his fourth.
This is his, this is his fourth, not his third.
Unbelievable.
Which is a shitload. Who knows what he's been doing in Italy? Good
that's
God.
That's too many.
That is not even, inarguably, that is too many.
Right.
So, he is a mess, basically. He appears in August in court, and Judge Jane Gray is, we'll talk about in a second what she does here, but he is sentenced to, I mean, this is bad. You can't. This is a hard one to argue. How
do you root for him ever again?
Yeah, you just got 2 in a few months, and you had 2 already.
He has 4 convictions of this.
Yeah.
How I have 0, James. Do you know how many times I've driven drunk? I can't even count. This guy's never driven sober. I'm never doing it again.
Always,
no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I've never been arrested for it. Yeah. I'm not doing it anymore.
No, obviously. I haven't seen you. I'm like, when are you doing this?
I drank and drove so many times. A ridiculous amount of times. I've never gotten a DUI. He's got 4. He's never sober. He's never sober.
Never. That's what I mean. Whenever he's driving, I just assume he's shit-faced.
There's bottles rolling on the floorboard.
And he's always twice the legal limit. Yeah. He's always 0.15, 0.16. It's never like, oh, barely missed it, pal.
What do they do to this fuck?
So, judge says, you, sir, may fuck off.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Jimmy? What are you predicting?
18 months.
24 months in prison. 2 years in prison, which is hefty. Suspended.
What the fuck?
Suspended.
How?
It's in North Carolina, man.
Is everybody drunk there?
Well, they're drunk.
This is 2010.
He's got a Wolfpack shirt on under her bench. But he will be placed under 24 months of probation. I mean, we're not letting him off scot-free here. But also, in addition to being in probation, he will be allowed to go play overseas while he's on probation.
Because if he's doing that, he's not drunk and driving here.
So, where are you? Greece? Great.
Right.
Go fucking kill somebody over there. Terrific.
This is who gets that kind of leniency ever?
Not
ever.
Not
on
anybody
4?
I know.
He's never spent a day in prison for 4 DUIs.
I know personally 2 people who have had 4 or more DUIs, and both of them went to prison for it and did actual prison time for more than a year.
Right.
So this
is crazy.
This is crazy.
North Carolina is the most lenient state in the country. Based on this, what other evidence do I have?
It's an interesting place, but this is I don't know if they're. Obviously, I feel like he's got to be getting some kind of special treatment here.
Somebody in North Carolina fucking explain this, because this makes no sense at all.
So we know a prosecutor in North Carolina.
Right?
Explain this to us. What the hell is going on here?
You missed the boat, dear.
No, let's not blame her.
I blame her.
Did you do this? Did you? Were you in charge of the DUIs that month? Because this is fucking ridiculous.
This is crazy.
He's got to do some time for that. I think 2 years might be extreme, because I always think that unless somebody's doing something violently, I think 2 years is a bit much.
Really?
For fucking anything.
To take 2 years from somebody's life?
I think it's too much.
Habitual drinking and driving? Maybe that's how they learn.
Well, I think especially it depends on who they are. If they're a piece of shit otherwise, then if they have like, that you had a meth arrest 2 weeks before that, then whatever. But if they have like a job and kids and they pay taxes and a mortgage, we need those people in society.
I suppose.
We need people that pay taxes and shit in society. So keep him at his job, paying his fucking kids child support or whatever.
But he's got to have some sort of.
But there's got to be some repercussions here. Not 24 months of have fun in Greece.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? That's
unbelievable.
He doesn't even. Nothing is ruined. There's just There's barely a bump in the road.
All he had to do was go to court.
That's it.
That's all that's been done.
I'm sure he got fined or something, but whatever. Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
To go play in Greece.
It's free to drink.
That's why you do whatever he wants over there. They're not going to. But the judge did order that he maintain monthly contact with his probation officer and report to his probation officer when he returned to the United States. Whenever you get back here, check in. Otherwise,
make a phone call from time to time.
A little ringy dingy every once in a while, and let him know it's up. I'm like,
if this is me with 4 DUIs, I'm in jail. I guarantee it.
Oh, you're absolutely in jail, and they're happy to have you.
Yeah,
there,
thrilled about it.
Yeah, they're pissed off. You're getting a bad speech. They're like, Jesus Christ, man. The hell is wrong with you?
I get it. I drank and drove.
You're
I'm
an
sorry.
idiot. Stop it. Obviously. You know how we're going to get you to realize the importance of this? You're going to prison.
Right.
So in September 2010, though, he returns to Greece with AEK Athens. Okay. And, he's there. He's with AEK Athens. He scores 14.5 points a game, 3.1 assists, 2 steals. He does his normal thing, basically. That's what he does. Same stats. He's a mid-teens in points, and he's going to steal a whole bunch and get a few rebounds and fill out the stat sheet. He's like a lesser Jason Kidd kind of thing. Right. I mean, that's what I would kind of classify him as, like Jason Kidd without Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd as like light.
Jason Kidd, light. Yeah, local kid.
He's Jason Kidd Zero.
He's the local kid. That's what he is. That would be his cowboy name. So he's playing over there, but then in January 2011. He only plays in 10 games for Athens, and then he signs with somebody else
in Europe.
In Europe, it's really fucking strange. Like over there, like I don't know if it's not in the same league. Okay. I don't think it's not like in the NBA. Like you can't just go, I don't want to play with this team anymore. I'm going to go sign with them. Right. But if there's so many leagues, you can just go to another country, and those leagues don't matter if you have a contract with somebody else. I mean, they could sue you or whatever, but I don't know. It's weird that he just leaves after 10 games. Signs with Mersin Boyuk Sahir.
Where the hell is that?
I believe this is in Iran.
Oh, boy.
Because, if I'm playing in Athens, I go, I'd really like Tehran right now. That sounds much looser.
In 2011?
In 2011.
Not the best place.
Oh, weird. Who voluntarily goes to Iran? I understand there's a history and blah, blah, blah.
Osama bin Laden?
It's not
That's it.
It's not a fun...
No.
It's not a place if you're like a drinker and a partier and you like to drink and drive around North Carolina and all that kind of shit. That's not the place for you. No. I don't think. It's a very strange choice to make. But he signs with them. He's supposed to start playing there in a couple months. Mm-hmm. But he does end up being back in the United States for a little bit here. He stops back in North Carolina for a minute, of course. And while he is there, he is driving on US 401 South. Christ. And he is stopped by Deputy J.C. Fisher here. The deputy reported he noticed a 2006 Dodge Charger weaving in and out of traffic at a speed higher than the posted limit.
Right.
So weaving and, acting like a dick, basically. He also failed to use any turn signals when he's changing lanes.
Okay.
He's that asshole.
He's driving like me.
Yeah, he's driving like you.
But drunk.
But... when he pulled him over, he said that Anthony Grundy had red glassy eyes and that he reeked of alcohol. And when he was asked about it, he also admitted alcohol consumption.
He's never driven sober, James. Never once.
This is number 5, and he doesn't know not to incriminate himself at the scene.
He doesn't know to.
They're like, you had any drinks? He's like, yeah, I've been drinking. Like, hey, dummy. Guess what? You've been to court for this 4 fucking times. You know that's not a good strategy defense-wise legally. Not that I want him to have one at this point. I want him off the roads.
But maybe, you know what? Maybe it's the perfect strategy because in the past, all it's been is, I'll go talk to the judge in a month. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't ever go, he doesn't get any fucking punishment for it.
But I mean, you think he would know as
it doesn't matter.
Any lawyer he would have had the last 4 times would have told him, hey, next time you get pulled over, if you had anything to drink, don't fucking tell the guy. If he asks you, go, I'm not talking. Am I under arrest? Yes? Okay, then I'm not talking to you. Thank you. That's what you do.
I don't want to talk in fear that you'll smell it.
You know who they could talk to, though? Me.
Right.
I'm your fucking lawyer, stupid. Don't talk to them. Don't tell them that you've done anything.
Yeah.
So and this is at 1:00 in the afternoon, by the way.
Wow.
I saw 1 p.m. and I was like, what? I looked it up. I found multiple sources said 1 p.m. because I'm like, that has to be 1 a.m. He's not weaving through traffic shit-faced at noon. At lunchtime, is he?
He's day drunk.
He went out to like a Hooters and got a little
he had lunch
into it.
Margaritas.
Yeah, and then he was like, woo, just driving.
Wow.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy, man?
A Charger. I'm going to go drive it.
I guess so. Wow. Not even a little tipsy, too. 0.16.
What the fuck, man?
Twice the legal limit. And what I would say is, A, you shouldn't be driving, asshole.
Yeah.
You're too drunk to drive. A lot of these times, I mean, depending on the person, you got, some states it's 0.6 now, 0.06. Yeah. And Most people at 0.06 are probably okay.
They probably
to
brush
drive.
their teeth.
That's what I mean. They're probably all right to drive.
It's probably the Listerine in their mouth still.
0.16 is you're pretty fucking drunk. I don't want you on the road. Like, I wouldn't get in the car with that person
at lunch.
Yeah, I'd be like, you shouldn't be driving. Let me drive you.
Day drinking is fun because you feel more drunk. Like,
yeah, because
with
you
the
shouldn't
sun
be
up,
drunk
right?
that well.
Because with the sun up, when you're drunk, you're like, this is weird.
You're like, ugh.
When the sun's down, your eyes are wide open because you're absorbing all the light that you can. It's different.
Weird, but the sky burns my face.
And I'm all sweaty. It's weird. It's so fun, though.
It's yucky.
It's so fun. I love day drunk.
Well, yeah, everybody does.
So
that's
great.
why.
But you know what I don't do?
Freedom.
Yeah,
that's why
I don't do day drunk drive. That's what I don't do.
Really bad. Yeah,
it's crazy
because you're even drunker,
right?
And if you're drunk and the sunshine, you're like, what's happening? I don't know. That's not a good look for anybody.
Killing somebody while behind the wheel with the sun up. That's extra scummy.
That's the word. Yeah, it's not even like, oh, they were all dressed in all black. I didn't see them.
Right.
They popped out on the curb. They're dressed in all black. They're turned the other way.
It's scummy enough to kill somebody at 3 a.m. drunk, but 1 p.m.
at 3 a.m, you're like, what were you doing walking?
Right? Why were you on the fucking road? You knew I'd be.
You're fucked up too. You know it.
The bar's just closed. The fuck off the road.
I saw you there. Are you awake? Hello? Hey. Yeah, this isn't funny, obviously.
You knew the score.
Yeah. We're laughing, but this is a serious
This is unbelievable.
Look, a lot of people fucking die every year from this, and innocent people are killed by assholes like this.
This is
Stop
crazy.
doing this shit. Stop it.
Knock
Especially now.
Yeah.
Even in 2010, there is.
Oh my God, it was so
easy to get rides.
Right. Yeah.
If you would get one now, I don't want to hear shit from you because there is Uber everywhere. Yeah. You could have done better. But this, even in 2010, 2011, this is February 2nd, 2011.
This is when everybody in Phoenix had a DUI.
Yeah.
This was this was pretty, they made a big deal out of these.
Yeah, get your head out of your ass. By now you knew better, especially him. He knows
Number
better.
5 in 2011.
He's gotten, by the grace of God, not gone to prison twice, and now he's doing it again.
Or hurt anybody.
Right. That's the other thing here. He has, obviously, 3 prior DUI convictions for 4 prior DUIs, because the other one he
hasn't gone yet.
Pled and,
oh, that's right.
He pled and combined the two. That is wild, man. I don't even know what to say to that shit. So he is charged with being a habitual impaired driver.
It's about time.
So finally, get some shit going on here. And July 15, 2011, though, after all of this, I don't know what his deal was with Iran there, didn't go through. He ends up being signed by the Petron Blaze Boosters as a replacement for somebody else, and he ends up leading the Boosters to win. This is in, I believe, the Philippines, the PBA Governor's Cup over the Talk and Text Tropang Texters. As we know, the Filipino basketball team names are the greatest in the world.
They love the sponsors.
Fresh and juicy hot dogs, and I have a jersey that wonderful Mark Busby sent me from Australia there, but hot and juicy, tender, juicy hot dogs or whatever jersey.
It's a tender, juicy.
That's the name of the team. This is the Talk and Text, Talk N with an apostrophe.
Yeah.
Talk and Text Tropang Texters.
Is that like a doll? Is that what Talk and Text
is? Probably a device, I would assume.
Got it. Text, T-E-X-T.
Yeah, Talk and Text Tropang Texters. They're the texters because they advertise a Talk and Text device. Yeah. That's where he's
It's a cell phone company.
It's a far crawl from the Hawks, even if they are shit that year. Even if they are 26 games out of first base, at least they're not the Talk and Text Texters.
I'd rather rock a Hawks jersey.
Jesus Christ. So,
although that's pretty funny.
That's bad stuff. So he's scheduled to appear in court here and in the U.S., obviously, for his issue here, and for habitual impaired driving in 2011, and he does not show up for court.
What?
He skips out on court. Up till now, he's always been appeared. Punctual, so they let him out on his own. He gets a lot of RORs.
Right.
They're like, we know you come back. You're always here. 'Cause that's all bail is for, is to make sure you come back. It's not supposed to be a punishment.
Sure.
That's what's the silly part when they're like, $5 million bail on a regular person. It's like, why don't you make it 80 trillion cajillion? What are you doing?
What's the difference?
Who cares? Yeah, at that point. Like,
I don't have either of them.
Yeah, it's am I going to leave or not? That's what you're wondering here. So he doesn't show, and a warrant's issued for his arrest the following day, obviously. This is felony habitual impaired driving, 5 misdemeanor counts of failing to appear in court, and 2 misdemeanor counts of probation violation.
Oh.
He is on the run.
Oh, my God.
So he is on the lam, basically, and we'll find out. He takes off, goes overseas, and he's fucking gone.
Off the wagon.
Off the wagon. Before that, he's getting all his shit ready. He's got to flee. He's got to flee the country. So he's getting all his shit ready. And problem is, though, he's at his place, and he's got a couple days left to go.
Yeah.
And he's just the house is all fucked up. He's in a shit apartment.
Yeah.
And he calls for some help.
Yeah.
And who comes a knocking at the door?
Is it Paul?
It's Paul Calhoun.
Hell yeah, it is.
Shit pipe inspector and enthusiast extraordinaire. And he says, "Hey, guy, how is it you come to arrive here? What the fuck is wrong with you? Holy shit. I'm back in the back here with your pipes. There's so much. I've never seen shit pipes so impacted like this.
There's so much probation in them.
Guy, what are you eating? I'm looking over here. I can't figure it out. You got to be eating get some roughage in there, something, because it's just booze and probation and DUI. I think I saw like a dog you must have run over is stuffed in there. I don't know. What is that, a German Shepherd? It's not the German Shepherd in your shit pipe, guy. I don't know how I'm supposed to clean this.
There's a lot of suspended sentences in here.
You're clogged up with probationary suspensions. You got things going on, visits to probation. I got a lot in here.
Oh, my God.
I got to go get the big snake. Hold on a minute, you fucking bastard. Get your shit together, you son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. I'm scraping out fucking toilets. If I did half the shit you'd do, I'd be in prison for 40 fucking years, you fucking bum. Look at you.
I only got 2 DUIs.
Look at you. Yeah, I only got 2. I learned my goddamn lesson. Once they started saying jail time, I was like, hey, I got to work on Monday.
I own a business. I'm just
I got to clean my
citizen.
I got to clean other people's shit pipes. I don't have time for my own. This guy over here, you're fucking everything up for yourself. I got to tell. I don't know. You good luck with you, I guess. Enjoy Europe. I guess have fun. Yeah, poof, he's gone in a poof of PVC and shit and pipes.
Clay pipes.
He's out of there, and
oh my God,
boy, is Anthony confused.
5 DUIs.
He's like, I must be drunk. Fuck, what the hell is that? 5 Deweys, my friend.
On the run.
Oh, and it gets worse. So 2012 and 13, he plays for Kavala, BC, which is in Greece. 10.7 points a game. Again, 2.6 steals. He's swiping the shit out of things. 3.9 assists. He also plays in Tehran. He plays with Marham Tehran in Iran.
Oh my God!
And he joined Hacettepe University, which isn't a college; it's a pro team.
Okay.
For some reason, called Hacettepe University in 2013. He then began training and in practice sessions with the Greek team AON Palantianis.
Okay.
So there's that. And then finally, he ends up playing in Morocco in 2013, 2014.
Sounds beautiful.
So, yeah, Morocco's pretty cool looking, actually.
A lot of rum drinks.
But Morocco, I don't know. Morocco's kind of a...
Isn't it a beach?
You're thinking of Casablanca.
No. Isn't Morocco like a beachy...
Yeah, but it's also...
Is it a problem?
Well, no, but it's also not like a... isn't it a resort destination place?
Isn't it?
I mean, it's nice, but I mean, people go to Egypt to see things too, but it's also a little,
okay. I see Morocco is like Italy and Greece. There's like a
looks
beach
similar.
like that.
It's right there. Like it's right there. It's connected to like if you go from there, you go right into like where Israel is. It's all around that way.
Okay.
So it's
near
all
the Middle East.
Yeah, but it's Africa. It's northern Africa.
Oh goodness,
it's northern Africa. There's just a little water between that and what Europe is and everything. And I mean, on the east side, you go and you get. Never mind. I'm not going to do a geography lesson. And then across the water is Europe, but connected to the Middle East.
Your hands out, making.
I'm trying
shapes
to make maps and shapes. Never mind. It's not far from Italy, I'll tell you that.
Geography,
much.
James, is my favorite.
I'm trying to
the
make
shapes
maps.
that you make of countries with your fingers and
doing
trails you draw.
If you go. It's like right across.
And you in your head, you see what you're doing.
I see the whole
in my
thing.
head, I don't see it.
It's right across. I'm going to show you. It's right across the water from.
In my head, what I see is James is wasting his time.
You're like, whoa, I don't know what's happening here.
This ain't gonna happen.
Here we go. I'll show you.
Is it the east side of
It's
Africa?
on the west side.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking of Egypt on the other side, connects into the Middle East and all that. This is right. It's look at how close it is
so
to
it's
fucking
close to
Spain.
the beach and
it's
shit.
It's basically connected to Spain.
It's gorgeous.
You just have the canal with Spain and
Morocco's
Portugal
beautiful.
right
I swear to
it's
God.
pretty. No, it is pretty. I've seen.
There's jungle, not culture. What am I talking about?
The only way I see things is 90 Day Fiance because people go over there and the lady went to Morocco.
I see countries based on the thickness of the leaves of the plants there. You know? So Morocco's got fat leaves, like banana tree leaves.
Yeah, it's
shit
still
like
desert.
that. Is it really?
Yeah, it's still
there's a lot of desert.
Yeah, it's a desert.
But it's near the beach, so there's
a
fat
beach,
leaves.
but then it goes into the desert.
Okay.
I would not have such high expectations of the leaves till you get there.
All right.
But it's different. It's a different kind of place.
Right.
It's Northern Africa, and it's a Muslim country at the same time. So it's different cultures are mixed into it, and then Spain and Europe are right there.
Yeah.
So all that shit intermixes a lot because everybody invaded everybody a lot.
Yeah.
So everybody can think what they want. Everybody's all mixed up anyway.
That's how I see. I just realized that right now that's how I see countries based on what's
leaf size.
Yeah, what's their foliage?
There's bad leaves in that country. I'm not going there. What'd you say?
Real tiny ones.
What'd you say? Cambodia? No. It's a tiny leaves.
Twigs and small leaves. No, thank you.
You can't even sweep them up.
Right.
They're just too
just
small.
A mess.
They leave shit everywhere.
You need a blower.
Ugh, no good. So he plays in 2013-14 in Morocco. Mm-hmm. All right, which good for you.
Yeah.
Plays in Morocco.
Yeah.
Then he moves to Ghana.
Wow. I mean, if you're on the run,
and that's exactly what it is. He literally is there because he knows he's going to prison if he comes home. So he lives in Ghana for 3 years.
Oh my God!
Okay, now you're going to tell me which is worse: a prison sentence in North Carolina, or he lives in Ghana for 3 years, earning his keep as a laborer on farms.
Holy shit!
And unloading boats.
He's doing manual labor.
He's doing hard labor in the African sun.
Rather than jail in
Rather
North Carolina.
than North Carolinian DUI jail. Which, let's be honest, in North Carolina, even in jail, he'd have got some special treatment.
Yeah.
Life would have been a lot easier probably than hard labor in the sun. This is rough. He's working on farms as a laborer for 3 years. He contracted malaria.
Malaria is better.
He got fucking malaria, Jimmy. How many players?
Yeah.
Okay, this is episode 239.
Yeah.
How many cases of malaria have we had yet?
One.
This
Here
is
it
it.
is.
We got it's a crime in sports first, everybody. I thought we had run out of crime in sports first, but no, a guy who got fucking malaria. Why?
Yeah.
Because he's in Ghana unloading boats and working on farms and shit instead of going to North Carolina getting his goddamn prison sentence over with and then going and coaching somewhere like a fucking normal
He
person.
didn't have mosquito nets. How the hell did he get it? He could have got it anywhere.
Oh, that's what I mean.
He could have got it from a friend at the fucking at the job site.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, how bad go get it over with.
Yeah.
He with his history, he could coach in one of these small colleges, have a job. He could.
Yeah,
he
but
could
you know
do
what's
it.
going on?
They love a redemption story.
He's probably addicted to alcohol.
I'm
and
sure he'd
not
rather
drinking
stay there
for
and
a little
drink.
bit is a nightmare for
He'd
him.
rather stay
I'll bet
there and
that's
drink.
what it is. He's addicted, and he's
probably
got a
right.
problem.
You're probably
and
right.
going to prison.
Well, clearly
he'll
he's
have
got a
to-
problem.
Right.
How many DUIs?
Right.
I mean-
But going to prison, he's going to have to face that problem.
That's the other thing,
And that's
yeah.
not fun.
That's,
I'd rather
I guess,
drink and get malaria than do that.
Unload boats to make booze money, I
May
guess.
as well.
He contracted it in early 2016, went away a little bit, and then in 2017, he had a relapse of it. And was sick.
malaria?
A malarial relapse.
He got reinfected.
Yeah, I guess it can relapse in you, and he had I think it's like Lyme disease.
You
I'm
can
not
beat
sure.
it. It lays dormant and it can flare up
Either
like
that,
herpes.
or he got it again. I'm
Holy
not sure.
shit!
So either way, he had it twice and in a year and wasn't doing well. He was very ill.
Yeah.
His attorney, his longtime attorney, he's got a longtime attorney because holy shit, you need one when you're this guy. She says, quote, "It was a terrible life he was living over there. He would call me from time to time and ask, what's going to happen to me if I come back? I gave him the same answer each time.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking jail, stupid.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen to you."
It was wearing on him.
It's wearing.
It's tough.
Finally, September 22nd, 2017, he arrives in the United States.
He's had enough.
From Ghana.
Yeah.
Just probably emaciated and just working and malarial. I mean, just from shitting and throwing up, and he's just got to be hurting.
He's yellow.
Oh, my God. Yeah, they just dragged him off the plane. Wheelchaired out of it.
Poor fucking guy.
Half dead. So he'd been there for over 3 years. He came and right away is arrested immediately
At the airport.
in Queens at the airport. Like, boom. Taken right to the Kew Gardens courthouse in Queens. And then they shipped him on down to Raleigh where he's extradited. He's not fighting anything. He came back to face the charges.
Right.
He came back and turned himself in. That's what he knew he had to do. So he comes back, and October 6th, he's held in custody in Raleigh at the Wake County Jail. In you know what his bail is set at? $1,135,000 is his bail.
Just be $1 million.
Just be $1 million. I guess
doesn't have that either
because there's extra charges. Those are the $1 million was for the thing, and then that's for the habitual, and then the others stack up on it.
Okay.
So $1,135,000 because they don't want to let him go because he, I don't know, lived in Ghana for 3 years to avoid this.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he wouldn't just go no bail. You already had flight. He was listed as living on West Muhammad Ali Boulevard in Louisville at the time.
Really?
Yes, indeed. Court here for it. This is for, the whole deal. He makes a deal with the prosecutor here. You're not going to go to trial on this because I believe
going to go bad.
He could have got like 10 years or
I'm
something
sure.
if he went to trial. So instead, he pleads guilty.
Okay.
He pleads guilty to driving while impaired and violating the terms of his probation for previous drunk driving convictions.
Yeah.
So that's what he does here. He does it, though, not in one room. This is crazy. He's got multiple things. So he goes to courtroom 301 at the Wake County Public Justice Center, and his felony charge is dismissed, and he pleads guilty to driving while impaired.
Okay.
They do that. Then they take him on down. Sheriff's deputies escort him down to courtroom 304, where he pleads guilty to 2 misdemeanor probation violations as well.
Okay.
And they stack all this up. And October 17th, 2017 is sentencing for this.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, good God.
What do you do?
Well, I mean, how do you just mercy?
What's the least they can give him?
That's what I mean.
I mean, what's the most they can give him?
I don't have
the least. We've already seen the least they can give him. He's gotten it.
He gets it all the time. The least is, have a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, send us a postcard from Greece, will you? Tell your probation officer how the fucking tzatziki sauce is there. Is it good? Are the gyros better there?
Write the judge's name in the sand in the Riviera and send us a pic.
Take a pic of it and send it. I think that's satisfying.
Tweet it to us.
Judge, that cool? He said Instagram's fine. He said just put it on Instagram. He'll
Tag
see
the
it.
judge.
Don't worry about it. Or not. He follows you, so it'll pop up on us. He doesn't follow a lot of people.
He'll find it.
He doesn't follow a lot of people. The judge is picky. You should consider yourself, if he's following you, that means something.
It means something for sure. It's not positive, I'm sure of it.
He thinks you're very attractive.
Okay.
So Mark Stevens, the Wake prosecutor, he calls the whole thing in his speech. Couldn't be more perfect.
Yeah.
He calls it, quote, a fall from grace. Which I've never agreed with a human being more in my life. This whole show is about falls from grace, and this guy summed it up perfectly. You know what, though? This was in 2017.
Just 3 years ago.
No, October of 2000. He could have taken that from us. Hey, fuck you, Mark. Credit us if that's from us. That's literally, dude, when we get up to now, we could have possibly, you don't know, other people we know in the system there. Listen to this.
We've been at South by Southwest by then.
Dude, we had small town where we were like getting popular.
Yeah.
He could have
hurt us.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Son of a bitch.
Grace is pretty common. But
it is, but just in terms, it is really common.
In sports,
but so's no body, no crime. If things are too goddamn coincidental at this point. So
that's true, Taylor.
At this point, I'll take anything. This guy, it's a fall from grace.
Yeah.
And then my next witness, Dexter Matley. I mean, what the hell am I talking about? If that I would have said yes, definitely. But he could have just said fall from grace.
It's a fall from grace, Judge. Will you tell him to fuck off?
Please, for Christ's sake. Please. I'm a little disappointed, Judge. I would have preferred a fuck off out of you, but I'll take it. He said, quote, I don't know what he's been doing in recent years, but he had a bad run for a long time. This is the prosecutor. He said that he definitely would benefit from alcohol treatment. That is, he needs to be imprisoned, and while in prison, he definitely needs alcohol treatment. That's a problem of his. Quote, he needs to find out what the underlying issue is. He's drinks with impunity, and no one ever lets him get in trouble.
But that
for his whole life.
Prosecutor needs to understand that his body chemically depends on it right now.
That's the other thing.
This is going to be ugly.
And think about, since he was 16 years old, has he ever had consequences for anything?
Zero
he
consequences.
Just keeps playing. Just as long as you can keep playing basketball.
Guns, women, DUIs.
Doesn't matter.
No consequences.
Can you play ball, kid? Oh, you played at NC State. You're a big hero. So the judge says, you, sir, and he's there. He's in his wrinkled orange and white jumpsuit and everything from jail. You, sir, may fuck off. 2 years in prison, not suspended.
Okay.
2 years.
Solid 2.
And alcohol abuse treatment on top of that and all the treatments and whatever. But 2 years in prison.
That's the sweetest sentence ever.
That is not bad for him. That's because he made deals and shit. And so 3 years in prison, or 2 years in prison, he said, quote, thank you very much, Your Honor, and was led out of the courtroom and taken to jail. And, I mean, Jesus Christ, I feel bad for his lawyer.
Yeah.
Having to keep coming back and going, look, I know what I said before.
Right.
But this time, he's serious. I'm like, with a straight face.
That's got to be difficult with a DUI serial offender. How many times can you say this is the last time?
I mean,
on behalf of somebody else.
He's learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Has he? Really? I mean, you got to feel bad for that person. You really do. Not nearly, though, as bad as I feel for Anthony Grundy.
What?
VP and network manager in Tokyo, Japan.
Poor bastard.
Anthony Grundy, arborist. Okay, very good with the trees. South Bend, Indiana. Anthony Grundy, distribution manager at Screen Australia in Sydney, Australia. Anthony Grundy, managing director at Ron Grundy Holdings Limited.
Oh, his dad's company.
Something, or his brother, some shit like that. Anthony Grundy, student at Ashland University. Anthony Grundy, subcontractor working in fire and security. Well, I don't want that guy.
No.
The other one doing it. In England, that is in the UK. And finally, Anthony Grundy, manager of finance operations at the Department of Health and Human Services in Tasmania, Australia. So this guy has like a very high level, lot of responsibility government job.
Health and Human Services.
And
or an alcoholic.
Just a disaster of a person, apparently. So Grundy's attorney here, E. Lee Turner of Raleigh, said the 24-month prison sentence will automatically be cut in half.
Really?
Yeah, said along with 25 days he's already spent in jail awaiting the sentencing. He said that he will spend a little more than 11 months behind bars and, quote, be able to move on with his life. All he's done is move on with his life the whole time. He'll undergo alcohol rehabilitation at all caps, so it's got to stand for something here, DART Cherry, a 300-bed residential treatment program in Goldsboro. The lawyer said he'll be there for 90 days as soon as they have a bed available.
Drugs and Alcohol Rehabilitation Treatment Center.
Probably. Cherry.
Yeah.
At Cherry. So the lawyer said he spoke to Grundy after the hearing and described him as relieved by the whole thing. Unhappy about the prospect of prison, of course. He said he's not thrilled about that, but he's relieved to have it all over with and behind him.
Yeah.
He said, quote, he felt like the world has been taken off his shoulders. He wants to get this behind him. He wants to try to live a productive life now and help others in similar situations. That's always the out.
Yeah, because there's only like 12 of you.
Yeah.
Similar situations.
Similar situations. You
Guys
know.
with shitloads of DUIs.
NBA players with shitloads of DUIs who run to other continents to get away from them. There's guys like that.
We've had malaria twice.
They've had malaria. You know,
those guys.
Malarial NBA players who've had 5 DUIs and ran away to Ghana for
those are my people.
That's who I want to help them.
Me and one other guy.
And this other guy. I met him over there. He's a cool guy. You're going to like him. He's the best farm laborer we had. He picked things and he
put them into other places.
And
he's great at it.
Yeah. The peaches. He could pick a pea. He knew to just twist. He had a twist. It popped right off.
Never put his thumb through one.
Never put it.
One.
And the stem gone. He'd leave it on the tree. That's how his twist was. He was so good. That guy. He needs to be avenged for me. So he said at this point that he would, Jesus Christ, hell, other situations. He said that, he would be signed as a free agent and overseas and would play for a short time, 3 or 4 months to help a team out. And then he would go about his business till next time. So he was just kind of a mercenary going around the world playing ball. He said that Grundy hopes he can earn 2 or 3 credit hours towards the 22 credit hours he needs to earn a degree from NC State or someplace else.
He was almost done.
He's almost done, yeah. But the lawyer said he is happy that he came back and got it over with. He said, quote, "He finally did it. I'm glad he did. He's one of the most pleasant young men I've ever met. Very pleasant. He will grab your balls. I will say that. You don't even see it coming. It's from across the room.
Wait till he's sober. I'll bet he's less pleasant.
Yeah, way less pleasant. So he does his time. Mm-hmm. He does less than a year.
Yeah.
And it's at that point, 2019, that he decides to move where, Jimmy?
North Carolina.
Back home.
Yeah.
Louisville. No,
yeah.
Back home. Louisville.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's probably a bad idea just because it's never a good idea. It's one of our top 5 rules, as a matter of fact. Never move home.
It's a bad place to be.
So instead, he moves home.
Yeah.
And that is in 2019. And on June 7th...
You son of a bitch.
2019.
Yeah.
Oh, it's worse. This is at Dixie Highway and Radcliffe Avenue.
Where he's moving fast.
Yeah. Louisville police end up after this looking for the driver of a 2007 to 2010 red Jeep Wrangler that they believe is missing a left front fender skirt.
Yeah.
They believe that because it might have damage as well, since some paint chips were left at the scene of what happened, where a 59-year-old woman was hit as she tried to cross the street.
Oh, no.
And died at the hospital.
Son of a bitch.
Yes. So
she was hit by a Jeep.
59-year-old woman trying to cross the street.
God.
Hit by a Jeep. This is at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
This isn't in the middle of the night. This is 5 p.m. Yeah, June, so it's broad daylight. Hit this woman, killed her. A week goes by. The police put out a whole big thing. Anybody who sees this driver, please, there's a dead woman. This family is, mourning. I mean, this is horrible. It's
devastated.
Fucking devastating. Finally, a week later, Anthony Grundy turns himself in. Him and his red Jeep.
My God.
So a week later, though.
Yeah.
Because what do you think he was that day, Jimmy? Think he was sober?
Drunk as fuck.
I'm going to go with, just based on his history, he's probably shit-faced.
Yeah.
Based on his history, he's hammered. And why wouldn't you stop if you weren't hammered?
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
Why wouldn't you
Somebody's
stop?
Clearly hurt.
Someone's hurt.
Yeah.
He says, though, that he said he knew he, quote, hit something,
Yeah.
but didn't know what it was and continued driving to his girlfriend's house. He just said, I thought I hit, a box in the street.
Yeah.
If you hit a person hard enough to kill them, you fucking hit them.
There's blood on your car. Granted,
you
the
hit
car's
them.
red.
Yeah.
Maybe it took a week for that blood to turn like a maroon color.
That's what it was. And he's like, oh, look at that. What's that?
Oh, that's...
So yeah, he does that. She was just trying to cross the road. He's also driving without insurance, a license, expired plates.
Somebody else's car.
Yeah, who knows? It's his car, but I mean, who the hell knows? And all of this, and obviously he shouldn't have been driving. And a week later is, I'm pretty sober by now.
Right.
So this is fucking ridiculous. So a week later, here he is. He turns himself in, and he pleads not guilty at his arraignment, though. I don't know how he does that.
What do they charge him with?
Leaving the scene of an accident, failing to render or assist aid, failing to aid or render aid or assist with death or serious physical injury, no operator's license, failure of non-owner operator to maintain required insurance, and no registration plates.
Where's vehicular homicide?
No, it's accidental. They're failing to aid and render.
Manslaughter, fucking anything. Man.
No, they're just going, it's an accident. He just kept going. They just let him
hit and run is what they're charging him with, basically.
It's wild, man. He's assigned a public defender upon request, although the prosecutor said it was a tactic to delay the inevitable in this case, and he called Grundy a flight risk and a danger.
Yeah.
This is June 14th, 2019, so last year. In court, his attorney said that he feels just terrible about what's happened. He's just beside himself.
I'm sure.
I'm sure he does feel bad. He's not a piece of shit of a human being.
No, he's a dummy.
But he's a fucking idiot that can't stop doing it. I'm sure he feels bad about things after he does things. So he's not like a sociopath or something, but he's still an idiot that's doing stupid shit. So police had released blurry, grainy images from surveillance cameras showing the woman crossing the highway. By the way, she was wearing white.
Okay. At 5 p.m.
She's crossing. Yeah, she was crossing apparently in a place that wasn't a good place to cross. But still, you got to stop if you hit somebody. Like, I don't care if they dove out in front of your car. You still don't just go, keep driving.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Like, it's
a bad place to cross. I don't have to stop.
But Jesus Christ. They asked for the public to help find the Jeep and, quote, make the family whole. He is granted $5,000 bond. How would you let this guy out? Obviously, he's a flight risk. I'm not letting him go anywhere.
He doesn't have $5,000. He doesn't have $500, right?
He gets out on bail. He gets out on bail. Who knows? So November 14th, 2019. So five months later, 5 scant months later.
Yeah.
It is his mom's birthday that day. He posts on Facebook that it's his mom's birthday and he's going to spend time with his mom. He's with his family at his mother's place to celebrate her birthday at some point, as he's posting on social media about it and shit. This is in the 1000 block of Muhammad Ali Boulevard in Louisville. Don't know. We've only been to Louisville the one time, so I don't know.
I think it's in that area. Isn't Muhammad Ali Boulevard near the museum?
I mean, who knows how far it goes, though, in either direction.
Good point.
We have no idea. I don't know if that's
100 block it is.
1000 block of, I don't know if that's a good area or not.
That seems like downtown.
Maybe. It sounds like it, but we don't know. So at 6:30 p.m., though, that night, because that's earlier in the day, Mom's birthday party, somehow at 6:30 p.m. that night, their police get a call of a man bleeding in the street, and they arrive to find Anthony bleeding in the street profusely.
What?
Lying in the street, bleeding profusely with multiple sharp force injuries to the body.
Oh, stabbed?
Stabbed the fuck up.
Wow.
Yeah, they confused him for Paul Pierce or some shit. So, sorry. So the Metro Police spokeswoman, Alicia Smiley, said that investigators think that Grundy was involved in, quote, some kind of altercation. You think?
We're looking for Ray Lewis.
Yeah, we're looking for... Fuck, man. Have you seen a white Bronco? So, at nearby...
a white Bronco going one way and a man in a number 52 jersey going the other. Could be anybody.
We don't know who it is. Your guess is as good as ours. It's the public at our there's surveillance footage, and there's a
purple jersey, white one. We're not sure.
We're not positive. So the apartments, they said they were uncertain. The altercation was at a nearby apartment. Apparently, he wandered into the street and fucking died here, or he fell over and bled. And they were uncertain specifically how he sustained that injury. I'm going to say a knife. Just,
a lot of times.
Yeah. The incident was initially reported as a shooting because people just saw somebody bleeding in the street with, whatever, holding their stomach. And the investigators later said that they do not think any shots were fired at all. They were interviewing people that they believe, were in the whole thing. They believe they accounted for everyone from the altercation, and nobody there had any explanation of how this happened.
Right.
Like, he was up there was a fight, nobody saw anything, and the next thing you know, he's stabbed in the street.
Okay.
Basically, that's what they got so far. So this is 6:30 p.m. He's taken to the hospital. At 7:01 p.m., he dies in the intensive care unit from multiple stab wounds. 40 years old, dead.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean...
That's how you get out of a jail sentence.
That's how you get out of some shit.
Unbelievable.
That is crazy. Dead as fuck in the streets, just in the middle of the street bleeding, which is not the way you expected him to die. If he's going to die at all, I expected a car wreck or something. Or, I don't know, I don't even know, getting like lost in Ghana somewhere and,
Not in the middle of Louisville streets with malaria blood running down the curb.
His hometown.
That's awful.
That's bad.
What a terrible way to go.
That's a fucking bad way to go. I don't know I'm sure the family of the woman who he hit is probably like, hey, karma, fuck you. But either way, that's a terrible way to go. We don't want anybody to die, so we're not wishing death on anybody. So the reaction of this, except Buck Zumhoff, he can fuck himself,
He died on bail, James. That's a first, too.
Yeah, died out on bail. He was going back to prison probably, and he's died out on bail. Reaction here, the head men's basketball coach at Indiana University was a teammate of his, and he said, so tough to hear the passing of one of my best men. Thoughts and prayers go out to everyone impacted. And he said, take it way back with a couple of these. Absolute warrior, one of the most fearless I've ever been around. His longtime attorney, who probably knows him better than anybody, said, quote, he had a good heart and was just a kind person. He's just sad because he had a very tough life. Then his friend Chauncey said, quote, he was like Muhammad Ali in the way that he would approach people. We lost somebody who meant a lot to the city itself. Let's not compare him to Muhammad Ali, please.
I don't remember Muhammad Ali ever hitting and killing anybody with a vehicle.
No, he got other people to drive him if he was drinking, probably. So there's a GoFundMe set up after that. A guy named Omar Bather, who went to school with him and played on the same AAU team, set up a thing for his memorial service for his family because he doesn't have any money.
Sure.
And after like the first couple days, they'd raised $2,500 from 50 donors to try to get a memorial service going.
Enough to bury somebody.
Not bad. Yeah. He says, quote, Anthony's family and inner circle are going through a world of hurt due to an unexpected death. Bather wrote on there, he said, losing such a loved human being is being administratively and emotionally insufferable. My wish is to best alleviate the administrative and economic worries of his family while they deal emotionally with this tragedy.
You know, like the lady that he hit.
Can't get enough. I mean, don't drink and drive and then think of him.
Yeah.
That's all. When you go out and you have too many and you call an Uber, think of this guy and that'll be perfect.
As bad as I feel for him for just a shit life lived and a short shit life lived.
Yeah, it sucks.
He brought all of this on himself.
Yep.
Apart from I don't know all the details of his death, but
yeah, who knows?
From the sounds of things, he likes to really fuck himself.
They called the death a domestic situation of some kind, but from what I've seen, and Jimmie, I scoured, nothing's ever come of it.
Really?
No arrests have been made.
Wow.
No, everybody, whatever the situation was indoors there, everybody just said, we don't know, and if no one's talking,
that's how it goes.
That's it, and he's dead. He's not talking.
Yeah.
So that's the end of it. He's not even avenged. Yeah. So I mean, this is about as sad an ending for a guy who at one point, remember when I said he's at NC State right now, and I'm like, look, slate's clear. You could be wherever you want.
Yeah.
That from that point to here is quite the arc. If you saw this in like a documentary, that's what I mean, or a movie, you'd go, holy shit, what a crazy fucking story.
It's disappointing.
It is disappointing.
It's like when the boxer got hatcheted to death in Jamaica.
Yeah, Berbick.
You're like, how does that happen? How do you get there?
Yeah,
how do you get from championship bouts to that?
Fighting Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes in the street.
Just smacked in the back of the head with a hatchet.
It's brutal, man.
Machete.
I don't know, man. Well, if anybody out there, if you know, tell us, or just tell the world you like the show. Get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon, give us 5 stars. Why? Because it helps. Yeah. We don't know why, but it helps drive you up the charts. So help us out there. Do that. Go over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now, where you could get all sorts of stuff, merchandise. So much merch. There's new stuff up all the time. So if you haven't been there in a month, check. There's new stuff there. And also somebody said, they have hoodies now? Yes, we have hoodies. There's hoodies on there, damn it. Go get yourself a hoodie.
Yeah.
So do all of that. And especially at shutupandgivememurder.com, you can get tickets to the live show, January the 29th. And it'll be available for 3 days after that as well. We are doing a virtual live show and get it anywhere in the world. And we're going to do a regular small town murder episode just like we would do in a theater on the road. We're just going to pretend it's the road, and we're going to pretend that the screen that the other people, that all of you people are on the other side of, is the crowd, and we're going to have a good time. We got it's going to be better audio, better visual quality than the first round too. It's going to be good stuff. Check it out. shutupandgivememurder.com. January 29th live show. Also Patreon. Our Patreon's been cooking, man. We've been putting up some good stuff here. First of all, you're going to get a shout out from Jimmie, and he's going to mispronounce your name because you're going to be a producer now.
Yes, you are.
And secondly, after that, you're going to get bonus material at patreon.com/crimeinsports. A couple days ago, we put up the personal ads episode, which we do quarterly because they're so popular.
So good.
They're so much fun. We did that, so you want to get in on that. And then
1980s desperation.
1980s desperation is so funny. It's just so sad. You just know those mullets and perms on the other end of that keyboard.
You can
that are just
feel
pathetic.
people really just yearning for something easier to reach other people, like an app.
Like how can I do this?
How can I do this at the ease of sitting on my couch and hating people's faces?
While I watch Moonlighting and listen to Phil Collins. How can I get this accomplished?
Watching Sally Jesse.
Come on, I'm watching Sally Jesse over here. So anyway, you can do all of that. And Patreon for Small Town Murder, which you also get access to, was all Christmas murders. And next week we're going to do the worst reviews of small towns that I could find, which are going to be hilarious. People trashing the places they live. All that and more at patreon.com/crimeinsports. Everybody up there above the $5 level gets all that stuff. And if you just want to get a good shout out and be a producer and have great karma, you can do that as well over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. And if you want to follow us on social media and keep up with everything we're doing and new shows as soon as they come out and all that sort of thing, you can do that also very easily. We're at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook and at Small Town Murder on Instagram. That said, damn it, it's been a wild holiday. We weren't around last week for Crime and Sports, so I need to hear the list of the greatest goddamn people on the face of the earth to keep this show going. Hit me with them, Jimmy.
This week's executive producers are John and Susan McQuilkin in memory of Phyllis McQuilkin, who would hate us, and that makes me very happy.
That's pretty funny.
That's what Susan told me. Also, Craig Cole, Rachel Amaza, Jared Durkee, Duncan Wilson, Elizabeth Goldstein, Jordan Bennett, Eric Peterson, Scott Barr. I hope he's Matt Barr's son.
I hope Chris, too.
John Knickerbocker, Jackie Perney, Tim Wooten, Vanessa East, Melissa Ramsey, Ethan Morrissey, Joy Mungeon, and Starheart. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. Truly, we can't do it without you. Other producers this week are Thomas Smith, Trisha Hempstead, happy birthday, Cameron Smith, Jaden Patterman, Bud Permenter, Catherine Corlisis. She donated both ways. Thank you so much, Catherine. Jude Kendall, Kimberly Cooey, Peyton Meadows, Liz Vasquez, Maria Kip-Sousley, Cody Baker, Madeline Isaacs, Max Ringstad, Rebecca Ailes, Steve Schnell. Oh, Steve, thank you so much, Steve. Bill Szynski. I missed Toby already, man. He lost his pup this week, man. That's brutal.
Oh,
sleep well, Toby. Jessica Massery, Massery. I don't know. Christina Bamengo. Yep. Larry Butterfast. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Larry. I said that. Robert Sukach. Janice Hill. Stephanie Grotbeck. Kendall Passmore. Amanda Knight. Elizabeth Ann Collins. Monica Hernandez. Killian Holzvaller. John Henry. Brandy Toom. Travis Marshall.
Doc Holliday?
Yes.
Cool.
Wait, what? Who?
John Henry.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Where did I go? Brett Killian. Amanda M., Melissa Turner, Allison Wolf, Jess with no last name, Marky Beasley, Anne-Marie Pine, Danielle Webb, Amanda Journey, Chris Garver, Tim Holzim, Julia Shirayev, Trey Phillips, Amber Kelly.
You're struggling.
I know. Olivia Foley, Carla Perry, Emily Rudder.
Got the other light on?
I need a water. Lisa with no last name. No, I don't know. Sherry Mullen, Valerie Alba, Ashley Bowden. Oh, that's a D. That's Dowden. Caleb Bass. It's amazing.
We're going to blame darkness on the first
with
part.
lights.
Yeah.
Sarah Conkle, Reed Schindel, Jay Soule, I think. Caleb Bass or Bass. I think it's Bass. Maura Siebert, Adam with no last name. Rebecca Allen, Anna Hill, Casey Lance, Deanna Hodge, Brian Hood, Amanda Oakes, Bailey Bunting, Julia with no last name, Jeff Watts, Danielle Nelson, Brian Carquet, I think. No, Chase and Aaron.
No.
Melissa Clark, Ashley Burns, Darcy Sherman, Roberta Burcham, Anna Zurich, Angela Corey, Ray Kosker, John O'Hara, Ainsley Luan, I think, David Springer, Jamie Goldberg, Keenan Aina. Ogaga Umavayan. I'm so sorry. Emu Vian?
Gave it a valiant effort.
It's never going to happen. Alan Hawkins, Cheyenne Ryder. Brandon Season, Jesse with no last name, Chris with no last name, Christine Rigney, Christian with no last name, Manny Edwards, Ben Ingram, Blair Fanning, LaShawn Darby, Fox on stilts. I guess she or he is very hot and tall.
Cool.
I assume.
Bouncy.
Jordan Byers, Ellie or Ely. Jasmine C. Vuitton, Greg Briggs, Alyssa Tyler, Vera Thoristoder, Krista Silvalotti,
Huda
Jesse James, Tyler S., Matthew Pope, Sanapori, Danelle, Heather Shaw, Ryan Goleniak.
Sure.
Jen Lucas, CJ Hempel, Beth with no last name, Joshua Lee, nope, that's Neil, Clements, Derek Young, Debbie Stacy, Tanner with no last name, Gailey Hawley, Geraldine Emig, Jesse Grams, like the measurement of weed,
I like it.
Candace Williams, Bree Phillips, Daniel Garipi, nope, 13 Foxtrot, Hollywood no last name, Haley Jenkins, Haley Grindstaff, Heidi Elaine, Robin Pix, Chris Solomon, Mendy Schmidt, Jaylyn Eaton, Rice Probin, Princess Dogface Girl, what? Alicia Russ, Wendy Stanich, Michael Coolican, Bradford Von Beers, he's up in New Hampshire, I learned this week. Jenny with no last name, Leslie Moore, Jacob Haverfield, Blake Lux, Amanda Ward, Katie Morrison, Riley Walker, and Bryson Olajinek. Firestarter Pizza, I guess it's good. I don't know. Eric Burt,
have some.
Burt, Quinn Kunze, Melanie Fagan, Kate Hyen, Whitney Weatherholt, Horton? What the fuck? Lisa Henderson, Kelly Kintop, Thomas Cox, Margaret Clark, Kelly DeRocco, Maureen Tracy, Haley Suxton, Lori Bowman, I put a little extra sucks on that.
Yeah,
sorry. Jeez. Joanne Bacon, Queen City Psycho, Dylan Robinson, Lori Bowman, I said that, Jen Wallace, Adam Ellison Quinn, Ruben Nunez, Katie Swada Johnson, Mary Lou, Brian Drastel, Matthew Goff, Jacob Powers, Justin Hornecker, Jenna Rome, I think it's Jim's daughter, Jen Wallace, I think it said that, Amy Levesque, V with no last name, just V, like Vendetta.
I like it.
Greg Freetage, yeah, Nathan Muzak, like the system, Rafael Garcia Ramirez, Beach Fox, we have one on a beach and one on stilts, apparently.
Oh, look at us.
Jennifer Smith, Patrick Waits, Elrod, William Valencia, John Carpesh, Randy Reed, Jeffrey Lanier, Anna Marie Campoy, Deborah Bob. What? Yeah. Jacob Foster, Bob Davies, Aaron Szymanski, I think, Andrew Fuchs, Sarah Jones, Natasha Tazzy Pliskin, Candace Fitzpatrick, Liz Johnson, Lance Tafoya, Michelle with no last name, Matt Hatton, Jeremy Eggleston, Austin Cock or Coach or Coke. Could be any of them. John Clausen.
You gave it the full run.
D. Hart, Robin Lincoln Codjo, what? Jesse T. Eric Watson, Sierra Senfner, fucking what? That's too many N's and F's together. Marianne Jack. Yep. Mary Case also. Wilson Wilsoff, which is fantastic.
That's a great name.
That's not real, but it's fantastic. Brian Riley, Tracy. No, it's not. It's Tom Chapman. Because I love Tracy. Sorry. Sheila Connor.
He's also got a fast car.
She is fantastic.
She is. She's
I love
great.
that woman. Owen Mitchell, James Bethel, Tristan LaFoya, Chantel Goyette, Sarah Lathrop, Dallas Grimm, Mary Lynn Patillo, DeAndre Floyd, Rich Carter, Tiffany F., Brianna Shores, Kathleen Legg, what is this? Greg Hot Chickaroo Pilkington. I miss Hot Chickaroo. That was a great song. Prof with no last name. Sarah Francis Ralston. Krista with no last name. Deborah Johnson Chin. Kelly Corletto. Wendy H. Sarah Francis Walston. I said that. Home stretch here. Melissa Perrin, McCord Brickle. Key Sardi. Christy Rayner. Katie Clark. Lila Cummings. Skylar Adamski. Adamski.
It don't mean Adamski thing.
Stephanie Lee, Jimmy Ryall, I think. Lyle. Sarah Darling, Maria Meyer, Haley Stefkovich, Paul Hivley.
You know what you wanted to say. You were so.
What do you want me to say?
You were so. No, you were so. Your tongue was like, don't say. Don't say Stefkovich. Don't say it.
Brian Choice, Melanie Argueta, Jeff Kuhn, Patricia Herman, Maddie McAllister, Susan Wheatley, Nicole Simper, Matt Hugheim, Jordan Bell and Hannah Gibson, Joy McMeans, Nicole Hodgson, Jamie Maggiera, Sherry Holland, Tommy Reed, Taylor Becker, Espen Notodden, Josh Novak, Caleb Pearson, I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Maddie Decker, Samantha Roman, and all of our patrons. You guys, thank you so much for everything you do. We can't do it without you.
Thank you, everybody, so much. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, this whole year, we really, really appreciate you so much. And thank you for the last 4 years of Crime in Sports. And we just really appreciate the hell out of you.
It's really been a challenging year for everybody. I know for you guys and for us. And
absolutely.
We've all had our issues, and really you guys helped us get through ours just as much as you guys tell us we help you get through yours. So thank you. And this week with Christmas donations just on PayPal was unbelievably overwhelming.
That was really nice of you.
Truly, thank you guys.
It felt like we had like a lot of cool uncles.
Yeah.
Just thank you guys.
And aunts.
That's what I mean. Just aunts and uncles, whatever.
You guys were truly amazing to us, and we really can't thank you enough. It's overwhelming is what it is.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And what if they wanted to thank you personally or tell you to go fuck yourself?
You guys know where it is.
They'll find you.
Tell me that I suck. I enjoy it.
It's good.
What about you? You too? They can hate you.
They know where we know how to just copy our names and you'll find us somewhere. You know how to look shit up. You're adults. And at least older children.
Yeah.
If you're children and they're not 6, they know how to look shit up.
My kids can find where we live.
That's what I mean.
They can Google that.
Do all of that. Hang out with us. Keep coming back over and over and over again. We'll keep coming back. Yeah. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.